Hello there guys, welcome back to my channel for player ratings and live reaction stream following Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0 and losing 10-11 or 11-10 because they went first, but we were the home team on penalties. I don't even know what to say. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm just really sad. Like, I really am. I'm just, wow. Because my head tells me I should be mad at Kepa, but I'm not. We all know Kepa's good with his feet. How did he put it, 5 yards over the goal? Maybe it was a bit less than that. I don't know. How did he get his hand on the one by what's his face? Konate or whatever it was. But then not save it. Was it even Konate? I don't remember. Big up, Rex. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. But we played well. But the finishing, especially three of them, it's just unforgivable, man. That is... What are these finishes? What? I mean, but the same, we can cry about that, but Liverpool had the same thing. What is Salah doing when, okay, it would have gone wide anyway, but when Thiago Silva basically clears it off the line, when Mendy pulls off one of the most incredible saves I've ever seen, but still Mane should score it. They get their goal disallowed for, I mean, yeah, Van Dijk was offside, but does he impact play enough for you to call it off? The reason why I think it's fair that they called the goal off, because I think Salah dived for the free kick that resulted in that goal. We had a goal called off. That's a lie. We had, 3 goals called off? 2 of them by Kai Havertz, correctly so. The first one, I think, because Timo was offside. The second one, because he himself was offside. And then we had a Lukaku goal offside because his arm sleeve was off. I mean, you could say by the rules, yesterday, Rodri handled the ball with that arm sleeve and they didn't give a penalty. So by that logic, I guess you can say fair enough. But then, 10 penalties of each team scored. And then Kelleher scores. The Liverpool backup goalkeeper scores. And Kepa just blasts his. Honestly, you have no idea, guys, how zero motivation I have to be sitting here right now and talk about this. But here we are. And imagine me feeling like that. And it's my channel. So imagine my 3 guests. So I couldn't appreciate them more. Thank you guys for coming as always. Let me start with you, Clutch. I've already shared a couple of words with you before we went live. You don't seem quite as down as I am, but like I said, I'm sad. I'm just sad.
I'm disappointed, but like you said, I think that game was what it was. The ref, I think, has some really terrible decisions. I still don't know how Mason Mount gets elbowed in the mouth and gets a foul called on him. That makes 0 sense to me. I guess I kind of understand the offsides on Lukaku to a degree. Maybe, I don't know. I'd have to read the letter of the law, but I'm not as deflated because, I mean, we went to penalties. We played really well. I mean, we tend to forget, and it's still Liverpool. Liverpool's still one of the best teams in the world, along with City, along with Bayern. And us. I mean, we're the 4 best teams in the world. City's probably the best, and then you can interchange who's number 2 between any one of the other 3. So, to be fair, it was a great game. I am a little disappointed, but I don't think we played as bad as I see this chat saying. Yes, we had a lot of opportunities that we probably should have finished. The Mason Mount one, that was really bad, but at the same time, I mean, we watched Liverpool do that too, so... I really can't go too hard on them. So it's just it is what it is. I'm disappointed, but we move on.
Bro, I wish I could move on as easily as you're saying right now, because, and yeah, you're right, Liverpool missed chances, but I'm not here to talk about Liverpool players. I'm here to talk about Chelsea players. And that was just really, really bad. Wow, oh my days. Con, big shout out to you. Like I said, for Clutches as well already. Thank you for coming. You're as deflated as I am?
Bro, I have zero energy, bro. I have zero energy. For anyone saying like we played worse than Liverpool today, just shut the fuck up. I'm not hearing it. I'm sorry. Like we had massive chances today, bro. Mason Mount, I'm sorry, but what are you doing, lad? Bro, he had 2 biggies, and I'm talking about real big ones. It's just not good enough, bro. I don't like digging players out and putting a loss on a player, but it's his fault. It's his fault, bro. 1, I'll let it go. 2, nah, fuck off, man. I'll get over that in a few days, blah, whatever. But right now, I'm fuming at him. Pulisic as well. He missed a great chance, but at least he created that great chance for Mount. At least he did something. But still, he should have scored as well. The referee could go do one. Lukaku wasn't offside. Actually, no, like you said, Man City got let off right at the end yesterday with Rodri clearly handballing it in the box, but Lukaku's offside with that. Like, the refereeing in this country is an absolute joke, bro. Every domestic final. Why do we have to talk about refs' decisions in every domestic final? Every single one. It's starting to really... Oh, it's getting on my nerves, man. Against Leicester, bro, there was a handball in that. It wasn't given because, the laws change every 2 seconds. Before that, it was Arsenal. Kovacic getting sent off. Before that was Alexis Sanchez's handball. Like, bro, I'm so bored of domestic cup finals because we played really well. The boys deserved better than that today. They deserved so much better. They really did. They played really good. Some players in particular played outstanding. Kai Havertz being one of those. Mendy as well. Thiago, Silva, Rudiger. Absolutely deserved so much more than that. But, the same thing we talk about for the last 2 years, Laurenz, in poor finishing, costing us games, and refereeing. It's the 2 things we probably mention the most when talking about Chelsea and losses, bro. And I'm sick of it. I really am.
Fair. Mevolution. Interesting name. I appreciate the donation very much. Saying we should be proud that we haven't lost against Liverpool in 3 games, just 90 minutes. Really should have won today, though. I mean, yeah, but we've played Liverpool 3 times. Out of that, we got 2 points and a loss in a cup final. I'm not, like, my standards are higher than being proud of that. They're good, but look at how we played against them 3 times. We had a better team against them 3 times. And we didn't beat them once. So I appreciate the donation. I appreciate your sentiment, but at least for the time being, maybe in a couple of days, maybe even in a couple of hours, maybe by the end of this stream, I'll think about it differently. But right now, I'm just devastated. Like, I'm just devastated. Pice, same as to you and same as to Con and Clutch. Big shout out to you for coming on after a game like that. How are you, bro? How do you feel?
Yeah, obviously I'm really disappointed, but I think the saving grace is like just the way we performed. Like Tuchel, man. Tuchel is the guy. Honestly, like I just can't explain how good of a manager he is. Like I said for weeks I thought we was going to get smashed by Liverpool in this final, but like we can compete with anyone in a one-off game, and it doesn't even feel real. Almost feel like we're living in some sort of, I don't know. Like it just. How do you get 3 disallowed goals in one game? Then it goes like it was almost like it was meant to. It was almost like it was scripted, like for Kepa to miss that and Kelleher to score. It just like with the sub and everything, like it's almost like that game was scripted or something. It just doesn't feel real. Like the way the game went, it just wasn't meant to be our day. It's one of those. It wasn't meant to be our day. On another day, it will be. And I don't usually agree with that whole sentiment. No, it just wasn't our day. But if you create that many chances like we did today and defend that well and you still manage to lose after all them minutes, then it's just not your day, man. So
we scored 10 penalties and we didn't win.
It's just, as I said, yeah, it couldn't be any more clearer. It just wasn't our day. Wasn't meant to be for some reason. But I don't know, man. Like I don't know how people can say Klopp is better than Tuchel. They are on some good shit, honestly. They are smoking something, man. Like like just look at Liverpool's attack and then look at our attack, bro. Like it's just the way Tuchel coaches the defense, man. Like, yeah, Tuchel prop for me today, man. Mendy prop, Silva prop, and yeah, the attackers let us down again, man. It's the same old, same old.
2 of them. Havertz did no letting down today.
True. But Tuchel's the guy, man. Like I can't believe. I can't believe we lost that. It's not his fault. It's not a lot of the players' fault. It's one of those. I'm proud of the team, honestly. I'm not really angry because we played really well. I'm just more disappointed. Like, I'm just more, like, deflated. I'm not angry as such. Like, not even at Kepa, right? Because, like, Gary Neville pissing me right off, man, saying, oh, Tuchel made the wrong decision. Like, shut the fuck up for a minute, right? Tuchel made the right decision. After the Super Cup final, yeah, everyone was saying, Tuchel, tactical masterclass, bringing on Kepa. Like, penalties, it is what it is, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Kepa is the better penalties than Mendy. Better at penalty shootouts. Of course he's going to bring him on. Why is Tuchel to blame for that penalty shootout? Like, some of these pundits, man, absolute clowns. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're right, but obviously every time you bring a goalkeeper on for a penalty shootout and it doesn't work, you're going to get scrutinized for it, whether it's statistically the right decision or not. Like, especially with the game Mendy had, in terms of how good he was, again, you can bring the debate in, was it the right decision or not? Again, like, we will never know. That's the problem. But someone said it in the chat, they would have put money on Kepa scoring his pen. Mate, like, I was convinced. Not a single second did I think Kepa would miss. Like, no chance. Like, remember in pre-season, obviously it was pre-season, not a final. But remember all those years ago in pre-season, I think against Barcelona, when Courtois smashed the penalty top corner. I was like, Kepa's doing one of those. I was convinced of it. Absolutely convinced. I think he just skies it. But he didn't slip or nothing. He just skied it. Like, it's absolutely mad. Ladies and gentlemen, we have nearly 400 people watching. I appreciate all of you very much. Please do subscribe and smash the like button if you haven't already. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Before we get into the player ratings, I have just some quick thing to tell you about. Fortunately, that has to be done, But please do listen, and please, if you fancy it, please get involved. As you can see on screen, let me actually get the solo camera on. We're this month sponsored by Manscaped, as you heard yesterday if you were here. Who is the best in man's below the waist grooming? I'm not going to be as hyped as I was about it yesterday, unfortunately. Sorry, Manscaped, but Chelsea do Chelsea things. Manscaped offers precision engineering tools for your family jewels, and they recently launched the Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle, the Performance Package 4.0. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer, actually, just for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with my code LAUCFC at manscaped.com. I'm telling you, the Manscaped package, like the Performance Package 4.0 by Manscaped, is an absolute game changer. What is in there? All right. First off, we've got the Lawnmower 4.0. This trimmer, greatest ball trimmer of all time, potentially. Like, I'm not lying. They sent me the package, tried it out. Like, I could get the box out for you, but it doesn't look as pretty anymore. But when you get it sent and you open it, brilliant. Their fourth generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. It's waterproof and also has a 400K LED spotlight you need for a more precise shave. That sounds already pretty good, right? Certainly better than Chelsea losing the final, so take it as what you will. But take your grooming game even further to the next level. The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer. Like I said yesterday, there's nothing to be ashamed about. If you've got hair in your nose that you'd like to get rid of, and the Weed Whacker will do that job brilliantly. But we're still not done yet. I do apologize, but we're still not done yet because next there is the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and the Crop Reviver Ball Toner. And trust me when I say this, fellas, as much as this is a Manscaped line, your balls will thank you. I'm telling you, these things honestly smell incredible. I've never smelled anything like it. But hey, and to top things off, Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts in their performance package, the Manscaped boxes and the Shed travel bag. Again, like I said yesterday, big fan of the travel bag. Bring your confident boxes to another level. It's time to take care of yourself. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code LAUCFC at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code LAUCFC at checkout. Under your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Again, contracts are signed, contracts are agreed to. Not in the, you're never in the mood to make an ad read when something like this happens. But here we are. We have to do what we have to do. Let's get into the player rating, shall we? Because it's difficult. Like the boys said a minute ago, there's not really many players to fault here today. Like, we're going to have some high ratings, even though we lost the final. There's going to be some high ratings, I reckon. I leave Mendy to last again. even though today we don't really have to, but I'll leave him to last again. But we will start with the defenders. And honestly, all three of them were brilliant. Chalobah maybe struggled a bit in the first half, but boy, did he come alive. You know what, Pice? I'll actually start with you. And I will actually start with Rudiger. On that side, like Mo Salah. Other than the penalty and the one time he was through, and that was on the other side of the pitch, Mo Salah was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, completely agree. Rudiger, I said this before, actually, I think a couple of streams ago, maybe in general before. I think Rudiger's always played quite well against Salah. Wins a lot of duels against him. They played together at Roma as well. I think, yeah, Rudiger did really well. Just didn't have a shot today, which I was quite disappointed with because I feel like the way that game was going, that could have probably won it. But he was very good defensively. Scored his penalty as well, obviously. I have to give him a high rating. I'll go with an 8 to start off with. I'll see what people say. I think at least an 8. He was very, very solid.
Yeah, honestly, I think at least an 8 is probably what I'm at, but I'm not really sure what to give them either. Like it's a weird one because Liverpool had chances, but then again, like it's Liverpool playing against a good team, so that will just happen. But especially Rudiger as an individual against Salah, like, do you know what I mean? Salah needed to go to Alonso and dive to do anything useful for Liverpool, like quite frankly. So I'm even up you by 1, and shall I go 9? I'm going to say 8.5. Maybe I will still be convinced to a 9, but let's see. Con, what about you? 8.5, both too low, or would you go along with something like that as well?
I'm going with a 9, bro. I think he was absolutely immense today. People say Salah's the best player in world football. A lot of Liverpool fans say that. A lot of neutrals say that as well. And Salah wasn't in this game. And that's because of Rudiger. He's that good. I'll give him a 9 easily. Not on him today. He did his job. Did his job and more. Great performance from him.
Fair dues. Fair dues. And Clutch, finish it off. 8.5, 8, 9. What do you say on Rudiger's performance?
I'm going to go 8.5 because I'm only going to give probably 2 players higher than him. So, yeah, I'm going to go 8.5. He was great. Salah was pretty much invisible unless he went up against Alonso, which wasn't very often because Rudiger still followed Salah pretty much the entire game, held him off. So, yeah, 8.5 for Rudiger.
Fair. And then, Pice, just at the end, you said you start off with that. Did you want to change it, or would you stick with your 8?
I mean, 8.5 for me is good. Even a 9. I mean, I don't really know what to rate. Half these players as well. I don't know. A lot of it's going to be based on emotion and stuff. So I feel like I might get a few wrong, but
here we are, bro. Well, we're not supposed to be classy. We're supposed to be real. So
I don't know. 8.5, 9. Anything around that range is good. He was very, very good.
Fair dues. I will leave it at the 8.5. And let's go to Thiago Silva next. And Con, you gave Rudiger the 9. Are you still going higher for Thiago Silva, or will you give him the same?
I'm giving Thiago Silva a 10. Played 120 minutes of football at 37 and did it at a world-class level. Yeah, and he did it at a world-class level. 0 goals against one of the highest scoring teams in European football. Gets a 10 for me, easily.
And now I see why you gave Rudiger a 9. I definitely see it. Clutch, 10 a bit too high for you, or would you go along with it?
I mean, I agree with everything Khan said pretty much. I am going to go 9.5. I think there could only be 110 today. The guy who literally won us or kept us in the game to go as far as we did. So, I mean, 9.5 for me. It doesn't take anything away from Thiago Silva. He's 37, and he outran Chalobah, Kante, and Alonso to even get back to the line to make that goal line clearance. So, for me, I mean, that shows, like, the dedication that he has. I mean, he I don't know why the other two, or at least Kante and Trev, who I do know have the pace to do that, didn't go back. But Thiago Silva was great today. He even played through the injury, like you said. So 9.5 for me.
Fair. And Pice, which side of that coin do you sit on? Or would you go
10.
rather with a 9 full
10. 10, 100%. Absolutely amazing, bro. I love this guy. 37 years old. 120 minutes. Man, I was shitting myself as well. I thought he was going to miss the penalty just because, he's one of the players everyone loves, and you can just see those sort of players missing the penalty. But yeah, man, he's incredible, absolutely incredible. Some of his passing as well today was so good. First touch, out wide, long passes, like the guy's got it all, man. I don't care if we lost on penalties. He gets a 10. His individual performance was amazing.
You know what? I'll agree. But if we go that high, I'm going to push Rudiger up for a 9 because I don't think he was 1.5 worse than Silva. That would be a bit harsh in my opinion. But let's give Thiago that 10. Let's go to Chalobah. I'm intrigued whether you boys agree that he struggled a bit in the first half. He did get beaten a couple too many times, a couple of times by Mane, a couple of times by Luis Diaz. But I swear in the second half, that man was on something. I mean, first he nearly got murdered by Naby Keita. I mean, you can throw your opinion in there whether you think it was a red card. Personally, I don't. Not a straight red. It should have been a second yellow because he should have had a yellow for the elbow on Mount's face in the first half. So he should have been sent off for the situation. But it's not straight red because Chalobah is the one that took the risk with the risky play. He flew in. It was more Keita's ball, in my opinion. And then Chalobah took that risk of getting hurt in that situation. That's why I don't think it's dangerous play by Keita. But he still studs him basically in the balls, or at least in the thigh. So I would have said second yellow, but he didn't even get the first yellow. And he didn't get a yellow for that either. So, that ref was right. But yeah, I was very impressed with the second half. For the first half, again, I don't think he was bad, but I just don't think he was, he was struggling a little bit. You could feel that it was his, but let's also not forget, I don't remember when the last time was that Chalobah played, but he hasn't played in ages. Chalobah was injured. I think might have had the Rona as well. And then he has been back for like 2 weeks now, but hasn't played a single second of football since then. So yeah, he's been in training, but he hasn't played. So understandable that, it takes you a bit to fully get into it. And then whether you think now it should have been offside or shouldn't have been offside, again, as much as Con said it wasn't offside, unfortunately, the rules, I think, again, maybe the rules have changed again, but the rules go that it's the sleeve that counts, not because you have to find a physical cutoff point. But then again, why do we do things like, just tell the players to wear extra small shirts then, because then the sleeve is shorter. Do you know what I mean? But that was Chalobah's pass. So Chalobah, if that goal stands, Chalobah could have had a winning assist. So I'm gonna give Chalobah an 8, regardless of a poor or not great first half, because his second half was phenomenal. I think it was phenomenal in extra time, and he took his penalty as well. I mean, everyone did other than Kepa, but Chalobah, obviously the pressure is huge. Like, obviously the fact that Silva takes it, yeah, great, but he's 37. I mean, even though as a centre back he hasn't taken a lot of penalties, but the occasion will get to him a lot less than. It would be understandable if he got to Chalobah a little bit, but he didn't, and he took it. So I'm going to go 8. But I'm intrigued what you boys think, and obviously include as well if you think Keita should have been sent off. Clash, I'll go with you first on this one.
I thought he really struggled in the first half. I mean, I was talking about it in the WhatsApp. I thought he needed to be subbed for James and then push Aspie back there, because I thought Diaz and Mane were absolutely torching Chalobah in the first half. Most of the chances came from Chalobah because he just got torched by those two. But he grew into the game. Unfortunately, we had a situation where if they would have done what I said, then we wouldn't have had James to bring on for Aspie, who unfortunately got hurt. So for me, yeah, I'll go for an 8. Yeah, he was pretty good in that second half. He really redeemed himself.
Fair. I mean, a couple of people in the chat saying 8 is very high, and I see what you're saying with that. But if you look at the game of 120 minutes, and you think about the fact that he was kind of only really struggling for the first half and was very, very, very good for the entire rest of the game, I don't think you're harsh. And yeah, Fantasy BJ just saying Diaz looks so good. Can we sign things like that? When was the last time we signed a player? We're like, what? Look at that. I haven't seen it. Like, honestly, he was their best attacker by a mile. He was miles better than Mane. Mane was decent. Again, I don't understand why Liverpool fans don't have a go at Klopp a bit more. Like, why does he keep taking off Mane when Mane plays way better than Salah, but Salah stays on the pitch? I don't understand it. But hey, I suppose good for us in a way. But Diaz is good. So I know that, Chalobah struggled with him, but Diaz is very good. Like, and again, the pace that Chalobah has, my man, and that defending in the box when Diaz was trying to make him go this way, that way, and he always stayed on his feet, got them blocks in. I was very, very happy with it, honestly. But fair enough if some people think 8 is too high. Con, 8 too high for you, or would you go along with it?
I'd probably give him. I don't know if I want to give him a 5 or a 6, to be honest.
Well, that's harsh, man.
I think it's harsh. I've never seen a Chelsea defender, centre back, while under Tuchel, get cooked so much. I haven't.
But only in the first half, don't you think?
Even in the second half, he got cooked, and he's really lucky that the ref didn't clock after Diaz crossed it into the box that he followed through. He's lucky the referee didn't see that. But
I don't remember that moment, but fair, yeah, could be.
I'm not even blaming him because he hasn't played a lot of football in it. Like Christensen gets injured and he has to come back in, and he hasn't played since the last time we played Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken. So like he was mad rusty, and Diaz he's in good form. Like he's really lively. His movement off the ball is ridiculous. So I'm not like I'm blaming him, but I can't give that performance like a 7 or 8. I can't. Like he got beaten so many times, man. Just because I don't want to be harsh, I'll give him a 6.
Fair dues. And Pice, do you agree with Colin?
I was going to go 6.5. To be honest, that was going to be my honest rating. I didn't think he was as good as you guys did, or you two, but yeah, I feel like he got caught out quite a bit. 1v1, he made one really good tackle kind of towards the start of the game, but I thought he was quite rash and clumsy other times. Yeah, I think we would have been a lot more secure with Christensen there. It's a shame he got injured. And I always said I still think Chalobah's pretty raw. I mean, it's not a horrible rating. I just don't think he was, I don't think he was great or anything. I think it's just above average for me.
So you're sticking with your 6.5, yeah?
Yeah, I'll go 6.5.
Fair dues. I think overall that leaves us at the 7 regardless, so let's leave that on screen.
Bro, Laurenz, can I make a point to you? The last
Please
game
do,
we did with the Chelsea game, which one was the last game we did? I'm trying to think.
Together?
Yeah, it was the Palace one, right?
I'm pretty sure you came on for.
I think you were here for the Lille game,
Lille
actually.
The Lille game, and do you remember we gave Rudiger, I think, a 7? Do you think that Chalobah was the 7 today?
Yes, based on opponent's difficulty.
Bro, he got cooked so much, man.
Like, no.
Fairs,
I
fairs.
get what you're saying with that. I understand the question, but I think you have to take opposition ability into account a little bit.
I know, and I did with Thiago Silva and Rudiger because they didn't get beat. Like they've probably got beat once, but he got beat probably over 10 times by Diaz today. And that's not even exaggerating. Can you think of another centre-back performance where the centre-back got caught out that much? I can't, bro. 7 just seems too high, but fairs. Just want to say that.
Can anyone get the stats up? How many times he got beat? Because obviously,
officially it was only 2.
Okay,
Dribble
that
pass
clearly is
twice.
fine. That clearly is
3
fine.
clearances.
So we can't read into that.
3 block shots, 7 interceptions, 3 tackles, dribble pass twice, ground duels 6 out of 4, or 4 out of 6, 3 aerial duels out of 3, and 2 out of 7 long balls. That's his stats.
Maybe I'd agree to a 7.5, but we sit on a 7 anyway. Let's move up the pitch a little bit to the wing backs. I honestly thought they both put one hell of a shift in today. It's still Alonso first because he's the one that we usually criticize more. There was this one situation, I think it was in the first half. He bailed us out twice. In the same moment, in the same situation, essentially. So fair play. Was it going forward quite enough? Maybe not. Or they had one decent shot, but that got blocked. But for what he had to do today and what we usually expect and worry about with Alonso, I think it was decent. Honestly, I think it was decent. I'm going to give him a 7. Maybe higher, to be perfectly honest with you. Maybe higher. But maybe that higher would only be because I have such a low opinion and low standards with Alonso. I think if it was like Chilwell and played the same, I might have given him a 7. But because it's Alonso, I might be willing to go higher, which isn't necessarily fair, I guess. So I'll go 7 initially, and I'll hear what you guys have to say. Pice, you went last on Chalobah. Let me let you go first on this one. 7 too high for you, too low for you? What do you think?
Probably about right, because I mean, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I don't think he was horrible defensively. I thought he was pretty decent actually today. It was just obviously going forward. There was a lot of times where, he's just not good going forward, man. He can't dribble, he can't run, he can't overlap. I think if we had Chilwell today, I genuinely think we'd win. But I think Chilwell, or
Who knows if the players just missed the
yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know if the players would have scored, but I was just going to say, I mean, Chilwell would have at least created a couple of chances, I think. Just based on pure pace alone, I can't believe it's literally just down to an attribute like pace, which you're just blessed with or not blessed with. It's like crazy, like, as well, a couple of times, not even a couple, a lot of times throughout the game, man, Kai was running off him and he just wouldn't fucking pass the ball forward. He just kept going sideways or running, to the side and then passing it back. Like, just release the player when he makes the run and points to you. Like, I don't know why he does that. Like, all of our players do that, man. Like, you saw it today so many times. Players making runs through on goal. Oh, no, we'll wait 2 or 3 seconds before we pass it and then wait for them to be offside. Like, oh, so frustrating. But yeah, I'll go with 7 because it wasn't awful, but it wasn't good either because he really let our attacking, abilities down. And people say, oh, how can wing-backs be so important to a football team? Look at this Chelsea side, man. We would have absolutely cooked them with a fully fit Reece James and a fully fit Ben Chilwell. Like, we cooked them anyways without, like, these guys. You know what I mean? Reece came on, but didn't look fully fit. He looked all right, but, it's his first game back. So, oh, man, we would have cooked them with... so annoying. It's so annoying that Chilwell wasn't fit.
It is annoying. It is annoying. A couple of people in the chat said he was better than Chalobah, and I actually agree with that. So I'm going to raise mine to 7.5. Obviously, you can leave yours at a 7. That's fair. Con, 7, 7.5, both too high, both too low. What do you think?
I'm going to give him an 8. I think he was actually really good today. I know at times he slowed the play down, but nobody else was switching the ball like him and Thiago Silva. He switched the ball a fair few good times today. He created that chance for Lukaku, and I can't think of a time where he got skinned. And I was looking at the chat and I was seeing people saying 7, and these same people were saying 8.5 and 8 for Chalobah. Like, what game are you watching, man? Like, that's just agenda-driven there. Like, Alonso was good today. Can we give him his flowers when he plays well? Because today, I think he balled out.
I mean, because like I explained when I was giving my rating, for me, I might go higher, but I'm not sure about my own brain whether it's telling me go high because I think Alonso is so bad, and that's.
But even defensively today, how many times?
I'm just saying I'm not sure if that's both of our potentially having such low standards of him, which is why we want to go as high. If that makes sense, I'm not sure.
No, I get what you're saying there. I get what you're saying next. I was going to give him a 7, but because Chalobah's on the 7, I think he was a whole rating higher.
Okay.
Like, I wanted to give Chalobah a 6, didn't I? So I was going to give Alonso a 7, but because he's on the 7, that's why I'm giving it an 8. So it might seem a bit high, but for Alonso, I think he did really good. And if you're just looking at it objectively, where you just forget it's Alonso and just look at his performance, I don't think he's that bad at all. He rarely got caught out. He did create a few good things. He was switching the ball, and his height as well is important today because he bailed us out with that a few times. So I don't think he was too bad at all today, Alonso. I can't lie. I can't stand him, but credit when it's due.
Yeah, I mean, I did tweet in the first half at some point. I don't like Marcos Alonso in that one situation where he just had the ball and was it Pulisic or Kai to his left, maybe even Mount, one of them, and he just waited way too long to pass, and then he finally did pass and fell over while passing. And I was just like, I don't like you. What are you doing? But essentially, that was kind of his only bad moment. I mean, if you say he fouled Salah, that was a bad moment. But I think Salah blatantly dived. I don't think Alonso pushed him at all. I think if anything, Alonso was trying to hold Salah up. And Salah just fell back so much that, what can he do? But yeah, no, I think it's fair. We still sit on a 7.5 overall then, and then clutch. We sit on a 7.5. Would you go higher? Would you go lower? Would you stick with it?
I'm going to stick with the 7.5. He was pretty good for what we normally come to expect of Alonso, so you are right on that. Like, usually in this kind of games, then again, like Pius always says, like, Alonso somehow just always seems to take care of Salah when he needs to. So, I mean, yeah, he was good today. I feel like even going forward, he had some good moments. Did he contribute kind of in the crossing department? No. But also at the same time, I guess, he still made himself wide and provided that width. So, I mean, that's something that we don't really get when you have, like, a Sar there. And so So yeah, give him his credit for today. 7.5.
Fair dues. Let's go to Aspie on the other side. Obviously, it had to be subbed off at some point after, I think, around an hour in the second half. I don't know what exactly the problem is. I mean, maybe one of you guys knows, but it didn't look like obvious to me what the problem was. But my God, did that guy leave his heart and soul on that pitch today? My God, like what a ball to Pulisic in like, what was it, 5th minute or whatever? What a ball. Just a shame Pulisic couldn't score it, but what a pass, man. What a guy. Honestly, what a guy. He had a shot, the shot on his left foot. The guy was shooting with his left foot better than I've seen Lukaku shoot with his left foot all season. Like, what a shot by Aspie. Unfortunately, he dragged it just over, but my days, fair play to him. I'm going to go higher than we do with Alonso, hence why I'm going to go 8. Could even go higher, to be honest. I was so impressed by Aspie today. Yeah, I know, like, there's still certain, like, why I think we maybe a 9 or higher is overdoing it, because there's still certain problems that having Alonso on the pitch bring, even though they don't necessarily show out, because it's not something they do wrong. It's just things that they can't do and then therefore don't do. Like having a certain bit of pace, making certain runs, playing certain crosses. But Aspie was brilliant today. Very unfortunately, he had to come off. I think, like Pi said, I mean, Reece got a bit better as, you know, during extra time a bit. Like I said, with Chalobah first came back after a while. I mean, with Reece, obviously, even longer time and, you know, only a couple of training sessions. But genuinely think it got worse when Reece came on for Aspie. Chalobah had more defending to do by himself, and Aspie also did way more going forward than Reece James. And whenever Reece James crossed, they weren't good either. But Reece scored his penalty, fair play. Obviously, we'll get to Reece's rating in a little bit. But yeah, I'll go quite high with Aspie, 8. Would even be happy to be swayed for an 8.5, to be honest. I was very, very happy with him. Clutch, I'll let you go first on this one. Too high for you? Too low for you? What do you make of Aspie?
Yeah, I think it's perfect for him. He had a really good ball to Pulisic that Pulisic couldn't parry for whatever reason. Yeah, and he was running up and down the pitch pretty much the entire game. Like, unfortunately, with Aspie's age, there's gonna come a time he had to play all these games because Reece James has been injured. So I can kind of see his legs going, and it kind of looks like what had happened here. But at the same time, he did very well. And like you said, when James came on, it left Trevor in a worse position because James wasn't tracking runners and looked kind of slow to kind of get back to the pace of the game. So Aspie getting an A is fair to me today.
Fair dues. Then we go to Pice then. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought he was pretty decent. Well, I don't know about an 8. Probably go 7.5. Yeah, I'll go 7.5. For me, I don't really have too much to say. I mean, like you guys said, I mean, you kind of rounded it up already. Really left his heart on there. Shame he had to come off, but I was quite excited to see Reece come on. Yeah, should have had an assist. Unfortunate, really, but yeah, it is what it is. Aspie always gives a solid performance.
He really does. Okay, 7.5 from you. And then Con, finish it off. 7.5, 8. Would you even go higher than that? What would you make of Aspie's performance?
I think Aspie was decent today. I think that's 2 games in a row where he's actually looked like a right wing back, you know. And it's a shame because Reece James is coming back now. So, like, where was this film before, buddy? But, fair play to Aspie, man. He did. That's why, like, he's captain of Chelsea Football Club, you know. He gives everything for this club. He loves this club. He'll die on that pitch, and he showed that today. You know, he created a fantastic chance, which somebody didn't want to put away. And that shot as well. I thought it was in for a second, Laurenz, ain't gonna lie. Because he didn't play as long as Alonso, because I think he was a little bit better, I'll give him a 7.5 as well. Because I think Aspie was the better of the two, but Alonso played the whole game, and he scored the pen. So
you'll go 7.5 as well, or what?
Yeah, 7.5, bro.
Okay, well then, in that case, we need to go to the chat because we've had 2 8s and 2 7.5s. So, ladies and gentlemen, please do put your rating of Aspie today in the chat. If you go lower than 7.5, it will just count as 7.5. If you go higher than an 8, it will just count as an 8. But please just put that in the chat quickly, and the first, 10, 15 or whatever, depending on how quickly you guys put it in the chat, we'll decide that rating. So please do. All right, 7.5, 8, 7.5, 7.5, 8, 8, 8, 7.5. It's very even, man. Are you guys following the chat as well? Because that is so even. All right. I've seen more 8s. Maybe that's slightly... No, there's definitely more 8s. Okay. Let's give him that 8. Fair enough. And let's move on. But before we do that, I did realize I did miss 2 super chats, which I'm very much sorry for, Chelsea boy. I hope it was the only 2 that I missed. I scrolled all the way back. Again, thank you for the donation. Saying so proud of my Blues, presumably. There with City and Liverpool. They are. We are. Every day we on Lukaku name. What have we to say now? Well, that I wish he had a shorter arm or sleeve, basically. But not much to criticize from Lukaku today, although we were certainly worse than we were when Havertz was up top. But not much to slander today, for sure. Let's move on to the midfielders. Let's do Kante first. It's a difficult one because a lot of people were saying, he was struggling with this, he was struggling with that. And for once, I was the one that didn't necessarily think that. Like, for sure, some of the passing wasn't as it should be, didn't come as quickly as it should be. But my boy he put in a shift as well. Even when he lost the ball in silly positions, my man was on the run to win it back again. I'll go with the same 7.5 that I gave Alonso. I think anything higher is maybe a bit too much, especially that because considering a lot of attacks did come down the middle as well. And he could have maybe done a little bit more in attack, but I don't think I should go lower than that personally. Maybe someone will convince me. Like Con nearly did for Chalobah, but only nearly. But Con, on that note, I will actually go with you first. Kante, 7.5 too high for you? Is it about right? Where would you go for it?
I don't even know, to be honest. I think he had a poor game. The energy was definitely there, and he really did try, but he was just so wasteful on the ball. I'm trying to think. Do I think he was better than Chalobah? Probably because he did put in a hell of a shift, and he's still decent off the ball as well. Yeah, 7.5. I'd give it that.
Fair dues. Clutch.
I thought he was really bad in the first half, I'm not going to lie. I was really wanting to sub him off because him and Kovacic don't work. Like Pius has been saying, you have to have Kovacic sit back, and then you're going to lose a lot going forward with Kovacic, which is something we really desperately need because he's one of the people that create the chances for us. Because Kante doesn't like to sit back. He runs all over the place. Yes, he gave a lot of energy. And I think the second half and extra time, he was pretty decent after that. For me, I'd go with 6.5. I don't think he was not very good for me today.
Fair enough. And then for you, Pies?
Agree with Clutch. Don't think he was very good at all. One of the games where I think Kante usually has a masterclass in finals, but I don't think he was very good at all today. Quite a few silly fouls. Not good on the ball. I've said this so many times. I seem to be like one of the only people that believes it, but I absolutely hate this pivot. I always have done. I absolutely hate the balance of it. I just always feel like it's chaos. We have no control. Like they're both box-to-box centre mid. It just doesn't work for me, and it never will do. One of them always plays bad, and it's usually Kante because Kovacic is just on smoke this season. So I'll go over 6.5. I was even going to go over 6, but I don't know, man. I love Kante, but it wasn't good today. It wasn't, he didn't take over the game like I expected him to and run the midfield.
Yeah, so it's a weird one because from what you just said, I think maybe an explanation for a different of opinion is that I don't expect that from Kante, if I'm honest. Maybe that means I don't rate Kante as highly, maybe.
You ever see the cross, man? Like the shot or cross shit he had when the ball came out wide.
Yeah, that was really bad, to be fair.
That just sums up the game, man. Like, it wasn't good on the ball. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I just didn't think he was good. I don't know.
Yeah, thinking about it now, I do think he probably was just as bad as Chalobah, if not maybe a little bit worse.
Like you've seen how good Kante is in big games.
Yeah.
Like, this was not a good game from Kante.
Yeah, I think I'd go
I'll
with
give you the
6.5.
6.5. It's not worries. I do just quickly want to react to something. Someone said, midfield got beat too easily, blah, blah, blah. For 30 minutes, we got done for. That also happened against Lille, and you boys wanted to give Kante a 10. So I'm just saying. It was no different to Lille, in my opinion. But that's why, or maybe not no different, but not that different. And only different in level of opponent rather than... I think Kante's performance was very similar, personally. But people will cook me for that. Let's see. Always fun getting cooked. Kovacic. In terms of outfield players, top 3 today. Outstanding. Maybe someone disagrees. I would be surprised if someone does, but outstanding. As much as I wanted Georgie to come on because I thought we were lacking control in some parts of the game, I didn't hope it was going to be for Kepa, if I'm being honest. But maybe Kepa, obviously, he came off injured against Lille. He kind of did hold his back a little bit at some point during the game today as well. So maybe it was partly to do with that rather than, just deciding to take him off instead of Kante. But he was phenomenal, honestly. Wow. I mean, I can't, there was a few passes in the build-up as well. I think in the build-up to actually Pulisic's chance, that the little, the just outside of the boot touch to Havertz to then start the attack, played it over to Aspi, who then plays it to Pulisic. Beautiful. Some of the runs, some other of the passes. One of the passes to, can't remember to who, but whoever was on the left in that moment. I think it might have been Kai. What a ball. That guy. And the amount of interceptions he had. Obviously, I haven't looked at the stats. I don't really, I sometimes look at stats when people have different opinions to me from what I saw. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. I saw it wrong. But initially, don't tend to look at stats straight away. But just from what I remember now, but mind you, it was a long game with all sorts of madness happening. He had countless number of interceptions and ball recoveries and all sorts of madness. So You
want the official number?
Please.
0.
What? Interceptions?
Yeah, that's what it says on here. 0. But it also says Pulisic didn't have any key passes, which he did, so it is what it is.
You know what? People have this tendency to use SofaScore. Let me use my app for once. Let me not promo or too many apps, so let me not tell you which one that is. But let me see if that's any different. Where is it? Recoveries, 10. Interceptions not mentioned. But blocks 1, clearances 1, header clearances 1, and recoveries 10. So, that says that for me. I was very happy with him. I mean, maybe people disagree. I can't decide between a 9 and 9.5. I know I'm going that high. Maybe people think it's too high, but I don't see what he could have been doing much better for me. I say 9, but if you guys go high and I don't feel like the weird one out, I might push it to a 9.5. Pice.
Yeah, I'm going to go 9.5. I think there's 2 10s for me today. But 9.5, yeah, he was outstanding. And as I said, it's just his work rate is just crazy as well, man. No one ever mentions his work rate. Look at his heat maps every time he starts this season. It's just, moves around like Kante, man. It's incredible the amount of ground he covers. Yeah, shame he had to come off actually, but I understand because Jorginho, obviously, with the penalties and stuff, made sense. But again, not sure why Kante didn't come off. But yeah, I mean, 9.5, he was everywhere, man. As you said, some of the stats that you read out, just so good on the ball, tight areas, winning fouls as well. I'd like to see how many fouls he won, because I'm sure he won quite a few. Seemed like it anyway, or just getting away from people. Every time they tried to press us,
he won 4 fouls.
Yeah, 4 fouls. It's quite a few, to be fair.
Yeah.
Not much more to say, really. Kovacic is just an amazing player every time. Every time this season, so good.
I'm not sure if you've said enough to convince me to 9.5, so I'll stick to my 9 for now. But I'll go to Clutch. 9.5 too high for you? Would you go for the 9? Would you go lower than that?
I think 9's good for him. He was really good. That pass was to Havertz in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game or whatever it was.
Oh, and then Havertz cut it back to Mount, and Mount took way too long to shoot.
Yes, that's what happened.
That was it.
Yep. But yeah, his progression is so good. He's one of the key reasons why we create a lot when we do start creating, because I mean his passing has just gotten so much better from last year. He's looking for those through balls, which is, I mean, that's mostly why Pius loves him with Lukaku, is because he's the one who looks for those runs with Lukaku. But today he was a 9, so it was really good.
Fair dues. And then Con, would you go along with Pius' 9.5 or more of a 9, or would you even go lower than that?
I think I'll give him a 9. Yeah, no, I'll give him a 9 today. I think he was really good. I just think he just did a lot. I think he helped progress the ball. He did a lot of the dirty work. It's just a complete performance, Really good performance from Kepa.
Absolutely fantastic. You know what, Con? Before I say anything, I will actually stick with you. If you want to cook Mount, cook him, but say whatever you have to say about him.
So my rating for Mount is 1 because he lost us the game. What more needs to be said?
Is there anything more you want to say? If not, I'll move on. Don't worry.
Nope. That's all I want to say on Mount, bro. He lost us the game.
Fair dues. Pice.
Yeah, maybe that he's just really overprotected as well, and people don't like it. I don't want to tweet it. I'm scared to tweet it. I'm fucking scared to tweet it. But he, honestly, he's just really overprotected. Like, honestly, I see a few tweets and floating about, like, saying, "Oh, Mount lost us the game" and stuff. Absolutely correct. And people in the courts like, "But Tuchel thinks he's one of the most important players." Like, it's like, yeah, the Mount Defense League is crazy. Like, can't today, man. His record at Wembley is horrible as well. I think he's lost every final.
As is Tuchel's, to be fair. So.
Yeah, but Mount, like, I mean, it's just he didn't play well against Leicester as well. That's the last one I remember. And Carabao Cup, not a good thing for him. I mean, he missed the penalty against Spurs, which knocked us out. Yeah, and again today, man, I just the one for me that when he was through on goal and he hit the post, I don't know how you can miss that. Like he even composed himself and shot and still missed. And I know post is, unlucky, but I don't care. Like, you have to score that in that moment. Like, and I would have backed Mount to score these chances as well, but he didn't. Like the one you said there with a cutback early on in the game, it almost felt like he froze in the middle of the box. Like, where's the sharpness? And there was another one as well, right, where Lukaku laid it off, right, and he took a shot and it went straight into the keeper's hands. But
no, Kai laid it off.
Was it Kai? Kai laid it off. Yeah, it was Kai. Sorry,
because Mount kind of came on for Lukaku.
Like you see the goal he scored against Liverpool at Anfield, where he bent it into the right corner. Where was that finish, man? It's the same shot, same angle.
That's what happens when a player's injured.
But he had so much momentum running onto it. I don't think people remember that either. That's why I brought it up. Because it got
right?
There was so many chances and stuff which were obviously way easier than that. But that one just triggered me because I'm like, you've shown you can do that finish before. Like, you've literally just hit it into the keeper and you're running onto the ball. You have all the momentum. You do that sort of shot. I don't know, man.
What rating are you going to go for?
It's got to be, I don't know, 1 or a 2, something like that. I don't know, man. He wasn't good overall either. I don't think people saying he was good. I don't think he was good at all.
Yeah. Laurenz, just so I didn't really speak much. I just saw a few comments that kind of like twisted me the wrong way, right? People say not one player loses the game and like being harsh with like it should be at least a 5. But when it's Lukaku, everybody's saying 1 or 2. See, I mean, this is why I can't be asked with Chelsea fans, bro.
He's overprotected, bro.
They have their favourites.
Also, when we say that about Lukaku, there is people in the chat telling us we're wrong, to be fair. So.
No, but bro, like, trust me, I've seen it, and like I read like the comments from when it's videos afterwards as well and stuff like that, and people like just laughing at it. But when it's Mount, they get all defensive. He missed 2 massive chances, people. 2 massive ones. We're not talking about half chances.
Good chance. Yeah, two other good chances as well. So it wasn't even just those 2. Yeah.
Like, so for me to say like one player loses the game, the defense did their job. Mendy did his thing. Cover and Kante, despite them like Kante not having his best game, he still had 5 interceptions. He still made like 4 or 5 tackles. Like, he still did his part. Cover did his part today. Havertz played his part exceptionally well. It's them 2 dickheads who lost the game for us. I'm sorry, I'm not scapegoating anyone. I'm just saying how it is. Them 2 dickheads right there lost it. And if that was Havertz who did that, if it was Asby, who I love, is the legend, if it's even Thiago Silva who did that, I'd be calling him a dickhead and say they lost us the game as well. At least I'm consistent with it. They lost us the game. If you don't want to accept that, fine. It is what it is. But next time Lukaku drops a stinker, I don't want to see you putting 1s and 2s.
Fair. I will take Pice's undecidedness between 1 and 2 as a 1.5 until he tells me different. So I'll go to you, Clutch. 1, 1.5, anything higher?
Yeah, tough one. Mount had like a couple really good chances, but that he didn't score. I mean, That's why I don't really. That's why I want the midfield three with the back fours, because Mount is so much better. Because he's not a finisher. That's just not what he does. But that's not to say he shouldn't have scored those 2 chances, because he really should have. And well, probably 3 to be honest. But yeah, no, 1. It's really bad, really, really bad. But at the end of the day, you have days like that. So it is going to be a little bit worse day for Mason Mount. So just depends on what side of the fence you sit on. Some people really, really hate Mason Mount, like your what is that, bad Chelsea takes or whatever his name is, and then some people really love him, like Johnny. So there's almost no sitting on the middle of the fence between it. For me, it was poor today.
And just to lead off Clutch's point there quickly, Lawrence, right? It's the thing is, we're doing a breakdown of today's game. We're giving ratings for today's game, Like, I'm not rating Mount for last week or future weeks to come. It's just solely today. He missed 2 big chances, and I'm not ignoring that for the sake of I like him and he's a Cobham boy. I'm not doing it. I refuse to. It's a cup final. He's not that youngster anymore. He's played enough games now. No, there's no excuse for it. I don't care if he's your favourite. Just be objective for once, but guys, I beg. Because if that's Lukaku or Ferner, you're crying. You're crying and you're saying, oh, the crap selling and all that. It's one game. If we're going to be harsh on one game, it's one game. It was bad. What do you mean to say?
Oh, you're spitting, man. Spitting.
I agree. Clutch, can you just remind me, what rating did you give?
I gave the 1, but I also will put this as a preference. I do think they overall created more chances than the people that they came on for. So, but I will probably still rate them higher because they didn't have, not because they didn't do more, but because they didn't have the chances that Pulisic and Mount created.
Yeah. Now, a couple of things in response to what's being said. I completely agree with what Con just said in terms of we're rating one game. So I'm going to give him a low rating as well. But what I do think a big difference comes in between how I speak ahead of that rating, that certain things play a part. Number one, what kind of credit do you have in the bank? What have you done in the past? Is it a one-off bad game? Is it like a bit of a bad run? Or have you been shit all along? Like, that makes a difference. And also, have you given an interview to disrespect the club? So in terms of rating, I agree with you, Con. But in terms of how you speak about it, I think there are reasons why why Mount is less slated than other players. Werner, how many good games has Werner had for Chelsea? 4?
But bro, Lawrence, that's why I literally said, when you asked me, I said 1. He lost his game.
I know. Like I'm saying you're right. I'm just saying why my opinion, it's the rating needs to be the same all along, because that's the point of ratings. We try to be as objective as we can. But how I speak about the rating is different depending on does the player have a bit of credibility or a bit of money in the bank in terms of what he's done before or not. Has he stated the club in an interview? Has he not? Like, those things play it part. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying there, bro. And literally, that's why I said, like, he lost us the game 1, because I like him. I don't want to bash him, and I know I'm annoyed, and I could easily bash him. I called him and Pulisic a dickhead today, and Pulisic's my favourite player. But that's why I left it as it did. I did, but then people just, like, I can't be asked when fans, like, put words in your mouth. Yeah, I gave him poor rating today, but so what? So what? He lost this game. He missed 2 thingy. So what? That's so fucking insecure about your player, man. Fucking, they're all Chelsea players. I like them. I love them all. The Chelsea players. Even Lukaku, bro, when he puts that Chelsea shirt on, even though I can't stand him, in then 90 minutes, I love him. I want him to do well. I'm shouting at him to do well, you know?
Speak for yourself.
It's like, it just changes like that. I love them all, man. I ain't going to just give different energies for each ones, even if they are my favourites, man. I call Pulisic a dickhead as well for today.
I hear you. Now, in terms of performance, I think the actual performance, I don't think Mount was shocking, but he was poor. So if just for performance, I would probably give him a 4. And then I honestly, because these 2 misses are awful, I'm not even sure if I think the first one wasn't even worse than the second one. I don't know. Because but obviously I'm not a professional, but just from having played football myself. Also for me, the longer I have to think about it, the worse probably my finish ends up being. Obviously for Mount, that shouldn't be the case, but I understand it, if that makes sense. I'm going to say 2, but I mean, we've had 2 1s and 1.5. So, Pice, do you want a 2 or 1.5?
Don't care. It makes no difference, to be honest.
No, it does.
Just a game.
Because if you say 2, it's 1.5. If you say 1.5, I'm not sure what we do.
Oh, Just give him a 2. Oh, fucking. I just don't even want to think about it, man. I can't believe he missed that second chance.
Yeah, no.
Just the way he shot it as well. Like, he could have even had more time. Like, what the fuck? He literally had so much time. He could have took an extra touch. Right in front of goal, man. Fucking idiot. I'm sorry, I'm pissed off.
For sure. Let's get to Pulisic, who... I mean, the chances were probably a bit more difficult than the two Mount had, but it's still a sitter, and it must go in. But I will also say that chip pass, was it on his weak foot as well? Someone could be wrong, but I feel like it was on his left foot.
Yes.
For Mount's huge chance, obviously, start the second half. What ball, man. But I will also say, other than his big chance early and the chance he created for Mount, I barely saw Pulisic. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, didn't really notice him that much. Tough. Because it was only one miss, and because he set up another chance, which 1,000,000% should have been a goal, I'm not going to be that harsh, and I'm going to say 5. Maybe it's still too high. Maybe a bit lower. But I'll see what you boys say. Maybe I'll lower it. But it was one miss, and almost the chance created should make almost up for the miss. Not sure if people agree with that logic, but he was too invisible. Otherwise, you know what? I'll give it to you. Con, why not? And I look at the stats whether he was actually not involved or whether that's just me that thought he was not involved.
I'm trying to think what I'd give Pulisic today. Because he did miss one chance, but he didn't miss 2. And he did that ball was really good to Mount. It was really good to Mount. I don't know. Maybe a 4. I don't know. Because he did miss a good chance, and it's kind of unforgivable. Unforgivable because he did the same against Liverpool last time, man. There's a really good chance that he missed, so that's in my head. But then again, he created such a good chance for Mount. Surely that I don't know. I'm going to go with the 4. I'm going to go with the 4 because he weren't really involved in the game, I don't think. Did you check the stats, Laurenz?
I did.
Was he involved?
Look much better for Mason Mount than it did for Pulisic. So just to compare them. So Pulisic had 27 touches. Mount had 31. So not much in it there. Pulisic had a pass accuracy of 57%, 8 out of 14 passes.
Jesus Christ.
Mount had a pass accuracy of 80%, 12 out of 15. You could argue, obviously, what that doesn't tell you is how many of those were easy backwards passes and how many were attempted difficult forward passes, I suppose. And how many shots did Pulisic have? Let me just see. Where's that?
2.
2, and he got both on target, to be fair, even though I can't remember the second one. Oh, yeah, I do remember it. Although, should he have shot from there? Debatable. But yeah, successful dribbles, it says 0 out of 2. Not sure if that's true. Accurate crosses, 0 out of 1. Accurate long balls. Well, do you define that as a long ball with a chip to Mount? Not sure, but anyway. But he was never dispossessed, to be fair. But he was never fouled, which is weird for Pulisic. Ground duels, 0 out of 2.
He was dispossessed. I remember that he dribbled in field and Fabinho slide tackled him.
Well, I'm just saying what the stats say. But yeah, no, you might be right. But it is weird because the stats make Mount look a lot better than Pulisic.
Yeah, this is why you can't go off stats, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then again, maybe because I'm so just in disbelief with those misses from Mount, I just forgot everything else he did today. Maybe I have. Bro, my head's gone. I apologize, guys. My head's gone, man. It's fully gone. I'm going to go 4.5 for Pulisic. No, I'm going to go 4 Pulisic. I'm going to go 4. And if I got that,
I'll actually agree. I lower my 5 to a 4 after seeing the stats. Clutch, sorry, what were you going to say?
He also created the chance that we passed to Kai, that Kai passed to Mason that missed. He was the one who ran at the defenders to do that. He passed it in. It was the other one. It wasn't the one that Mason should have hit. Well, I guess both of them Mason should have hit, but Kai passed it to Mason. And I forget, Mason just hit it wide or something like that. Because Pulisic dribbled down the middle, passed it to Kai. Kai passed it back to the middle where Mason was, and he missed that chance.
Are you sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure that was a through ball to Mason. Mason got a touch in ahead of Van Dijk. It fell to Kai. Kai laid it off. Mason shot.
No, I'm 100% positive because Pulisic got clattered from behind by Kepa for it.
Aha. Now I know what chance you're talking about. Okay, the half-time chance, or just before half-time.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
He did do that, to be fair. Yeah, he did do that. Yeah, he's done well. You know what? I'll go 4.5 then. But, Clutch, what were you going to go for?
If I rate Mason a 1, then I gotta go for a 2 for Pulisic. Like, I gotta be consistent. That was a huge change. Yeah, if I rate Mason Mount on the same logic, I don't think Mason Mount was terrible other than the misses. Like, he had some moments shaky for the first 20 minutes, yes. Do I think Pulisic was terrible? No, I don't think he was terrible at all. I think he had a bad chance making. But if I gotta be consistent, I also gotta say that. Pulisic realistically was like a 4 for me today. But if I'm going to rate Mason as a 1, I got to rate Pulisic as a 2.
This is kind of my minor problem with these ratings that we have for definitely Mount, but also what we're heading towards with Pulisic. Because I agree with this comment. Yes, the misses were really bad, but our attacking was still, aside from maybe the Lille game, better than it has been for weeks. And that is not just, they can't only be Havertz, right? So, like, they must have done a little something. I don't understand personally. Both apps, by the way, that I looked at have Pulisic on the left wing, Mount on the right wing. That was not the case. No idea why Mount was on the left, Pulisic on the right. Yes, maybe partly Alonso. But with the way Alonso played, did he need that today? Arguably not. But that comment is why I think both ratings are a bit harsh, because you can't tell me we didn't attack well. Like, the amount of chances we had, you can't tell me we didn't attack well. And they are part of the attack. So that's kind of...
And I do think we were better with these two than we were with Werner and Lukaku.
So, I get that. And in a normal league game, I might sort of budge over. But because this is a cup final and they missed the chances they did, it lost the cup, bro. That like, in my eyes, them two lost us the cup today. Like, I might be being a bit harsh, but from my perspective, that's why I gave him 1.5, bro. Because despite everything else,
saying on Mount as well, I was mostly just surprised by Clutch going solo for Pulisic, because the miss is bad, but I think he almost makes up for the miss with the pass for Mount.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, bro. Like, I didn't know what to give him because the miss was bad, but then that pass was so good. So
exactly. So that's why I went 5 initially, but then I saw the stats and I'm like, but maybe I should just stick with the 5 and I should raise my Mount rating to at least a 3 or something. Maybe I should. Are you going to stick to the 4 for Pulisic, Yakon?
Yeah, bro.
Okay. And Clutch, you're going to stick to your 2?
Yes, because I got to keep it consistent.
Fair dues. Not sure where exactly that leaves us, to be honest. Let me put a 3.5 for the time being, and let's ask Price. Price, what do you think?
4. Yeah, still, honestly, I can't with some of these attackers, man. Every time I come on there or I tweet out praise for them, they're just too inconsistent. One game they're up on the top of the world, next game they pretty much fuck a league cup final up. Just the inconsistencies. I don't know how we fix it, because it's kind of the same as last season, right? I'm sitting here today thinking, wow, we created all these chances. Maybe if we had someone to finish them, we would have won the game.
But here's where I'm coming from. Like, if you watch Liverpool, that front 3 kept rotating. Not once with these 3, the people who were creating, did we rotate ever. Pulisic always was on the right. Mount was always on... No, we didn't.
No,
I
think there was a lot of movement generally. Havertz was drifting around.
Havertz was the only one moving. Havertz was the only one moving. Mount and Pulisic did not move.
Mount, and then either Pulisic or Mount filled Havertz's spot while Havertz was right. That's rotating.
I'd never seen them. Maybe Mount, but I never seen Pulisic.
Mount missed the chance from the penalty spot, so he can't have always been on the left, right?
Yeah, because he was coming in from the left. You know, that
yeah,
same
but
thing.
Still, though, isn't that? And also Mount's chance that we spoke about earlier, where Kai passed it to him, that was kind of left, Mount in the middle.
And I mean from, like, rotation, like, we're setting up from where we come from deeper. They don't do that. Sure, when we get down there, they a little bit, tiny bit of rotation. But
has Salah ever come off the right for that? I feel like he didn't.
Salah always is either in the middle or off the right. Always. That's just how he plays. He decides where he wants to go.
That's what I'm saying.
but we're so positionally stuck. Like for me, I just don't understand why Mount and Pulisic didn't switch ever.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. I agree.
But we literally always say it. We always moan about Mount playing on the right, though. I don't understand this.
But Pulisic is the more informed player at the moment.
Yeah.
Why are you not playing him as in his informed position?
Fucking.
I know you don't agree because it sounds like I'm having a go at Tuchel.
All these guys, man, they need to play multiple positions. If
No,
you're only
they
good
do.
at one
But
spot,
to
get
me,
the fuck out, honestly.
To me, Mount has less of a drop off between his left side and his right side, while Pulisic
Fed up
has
with players
quite
who can only play one position, man. It's so
No,
dead.
but that doesn't. But Pice, it doesn't matter. Like, you're right. They should play more positions, but fact of the matter is they don't. Right. So we should be playing them where they are their best. And if, at least in my and Clutch opinion, Mount is similarly to his level on the left, on his right, then Pulisic is on the right compared to his left level of performances. Then I think it makes more sense to keep Pulisic there.
At least you're going to get somebody who's going to cross the ball in off the right if you have Mount over there.
Yeah, it's true. Pulisic attempted one cross, and that was with left foot.
So why don't you blame Pulisic for not crossing then? Is he like incapable of crossing from the right? Or,
No. We do blame him for it. Like
That's why I don't want him over there. That's my whole point.
Yeah, but you don't give Pulisic criticism when he plays on the right, though. I don't get it. Like
I do.
It's like
I very much do.
Give him a 2.
Yeah, only based on Mount rating, though, isn't it? Like as he was saying during half time or whatever, you was like Tuchel should switch them. Like maybe they should just be better. You know what I mean? Like it's not always on the manager.
I get that, like you defend Tuchel. Yes, they do need to be better.
But both can be the case, in my opinion.
You're too much of like Tuchel is too big to have like issues. Like that is a problem. Like you said in the WhatsApp chat, no manager changes at halftime. If it's not going right at halftime, you need to be able to change.
Yeah, sure, that's just it. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Name me any manager in the world that consistently makes changes at halftime. We can create all those chances. He's not going to change things around when we created all those chances. You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter if Mount and Pulisic played on the opposite sides because they both miss massive. I don't understand what that has to do with missing chances. I can't.
Exactly. Then Tuchel would catch heat for Mount not playing well because he's not even like for me. He's better on the left. I know, but if you started Mount on the right hand side, just imagine he never played this game on the left. Mount for me is more of a threat on the left. So you'd say.
Who's a bigger threat, Mount or Pulisic off the left? And if you say Mount, that's insane to me.
After today's finishing, bro, none.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree off of today.
Based off last,
but you don't even try it. That's my point.
But these attackers are like yo-yos, man. Like, there's no point, there's no point pretending that just because he played well on the left last game, he has to play there now. Like, it's not. You know what I mean? There's no guarantees with these guys. They're just yo-yos.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to disagree on it, so I'm just going to let it sit at that.
There you go. Pice, did you say 4 for Pulisic, yeah?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
There you go. I do think that kind of these are the 3.75, I guess, but, I'm still thinking whether I don't want to give Mount a 3. I know you guys all want to rip my head off for that.
We've given Lukaku worse.
No, we have, but Lukaku's played way worse. Like when I mean, fair enough, maybe you don't, but when I criticize Lukaku heavily, it isn't just for missing a chance. It is for being poor at everything. And I don't think Mount was poor at everything.
I get that, bro, but there's no point being all right at other stuff when the 2 big moments come, you bottle it, and it costs us. Like, in my eyes, that
is true. But in rating, like, say he scored a hat-trick, but also missed 2 sitters. Do the 2 sitters then not matter?
Well, because he made up for it. He had 3 shots today. 3 really good chances.
Yeah, no.
Again,
hey, bro, I was debating a 2 or a 3. And like I'm saying, actually, Mount was great. He should have definitely taken all of these chances. And I'm also critical of the other 2, by the way. I think not just the 2 big chances he had. I think the other 2, especially the one that Kai laid off to him, why is he misplacing that so close to the goalkeeper? That's poor.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just in a negative mindset, bro, because we just lost and it's fresh in the mind. So, like, ignore me, bro.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, I just leave it because I think otherwise Pulisic's too low if Mount pushes up to a 2. But do I? I'm not sure. Let's just move on. Who gives a shit? Kai Havertz, back to some positive things. As much as, the chat kept reminding me, it might be the same person, but chat kept reminding me, yeah, but Kai missed a chance. He was offside for it. But yeah, he did miss actually a pretty good chance, but I think that was actually a save from the goalkeeper. So at least it would have been a corner, but the chance wasn't good, or his effort wasn't good anyway. But he did also score 2 goals. Both were obviously ruled offside. Once was his fault. Once it wasn't. Once it was Timo in the build-up that was offside. Yes, the header that he got in was lucky because, Keller did actually get it, but it bounced in behind the goal anyway. But my word, is that guy good? Like, obviously, it wasn't amazing throughout the entirety of the game, but there was moments where I'm like, this is the Kai Havertz I've been looking for. And this is the Kai Havertz that, when I said Lukaku needs to be dropped for Havertz in this 10-game period where Lukaku started every game, this is the Kai Havertz. So I'm like, this is what we could have, but we choose to play with Lukaku. I was very happy with Kai today. People think I'm going to be mental, but I'm going to go 9. Maybe 8.5, but 9. You know what I mean? Like, I just, he did everything. Like, look at the 2 ratings we gave here, and we still attacked well. So, as much as I think both could potentially be high if we don't just focus on the misses, Kai did a lot of that by himself today. And that is so impressive. So impressive. Pice, I'll let you go first on this one. Is 9 too high for you? But I presume you also think he was very good.
Yeah, more of a creative outlet, I guess, today. He's always, sort of, like, he wasn't, didn't think he was threatening as such in terms of, I thought he was going to score. I just thought he played very well.
Goals. They were offside, but
yeah, I know, but overall, I think it was more like, I didn't get that threatening vibe from him, I just thought he was very good at complimenting the other players, which unfortunately some chances were missed. But yeah, he played his game. He was constantly moving around.
Him assisting the big chance for Mason, by the way.
Yeah, it's so frustrating, man. Like, that's why I say I just kind of got that more creative vibe today. But yeah, he played the role really well. I'm going to go 8.5. Probably just to spark up debate. I wouldn't really be too bothered with a 9, but I think 8.5. I give Kovacic a 9.5. Yeah, no, I'll give Havertz a 9. I don't think he was a whole rating worse than Kovacic. I thought for what he offered, with the chances he created, I think he deserves a 9.
I'm very intrigued by what a lot of people in the chat here are saying. Oh, he didn't score. This is that. Brandon, can you please not just say this is a joke, but actually elaborate what you mean? And I appreciate that we are all used to texting in small messages, but there's a lot of people in the chat. We still have 320 people watching. If you just put in one little sentence, but explained it 10 messages earlier, how on earth am I meant to know what you said? I can't just sit here and scroll through the whole thing. So if you're trying to say something, please say it in one message, because otherwise, how on earth am I meant to know what you're trying to say? Yeah, I think Kai Havertz was very good. I don't think what really you want Kai Havertz to do better. Yeah, his one chance that he missed, but that was offside. So whether he does it better or not doesn't actually affect anything of the game. And outside of that, he did everything right, in my opinion. In my opinion, even slightly more so than Pice said. I think it was a threat. Okay, here you are. Let me just highlight it, because I had a go at you. So there you go. Sure, I can. The slow mod has the point. We didn't score or assist in 120 minutes. Then a player played, and he was on number 9. I do think he also had a bad miss, as bad as Pulisic, but again, he was offside. You can't just pretend like it wasn't. And in that situation, in my opinion, Kai was very aware that he was offside, but people can debate whether he was or not. Also, he wasn't a number 9 for the whole game. Second point. And third point, again, he made arguably, him and Pulisic made the 2 biggest chances we had in open play. So you can't just say, oh, it's not Kai's fault that Mount missed his sitter. I was good at Kai's fault. And no, I'm not giving 0.5 less for a bad miss. That was offside. I don't understand this at all. But fair enough. We have 2 9 so far. Let's see, maybe Con and Tudge are actually more negative. T-Spot is very unhappy with our rating for Christian Pulisic. Fair enough, mate. I mean, I said 5, to be fair. But here we are. Con, 9 too high for Havertz? Like some of the people in the chat say, because we didn't score? Or do you still think you can?
Nah, he's a 9 today. I think people understand when you play like a false 9, that false 9 has to be selfless, you know. And they're the creative spark in that attack. And he was the second highest creator today after Trent. So he done his role. He done his role. And considering the back line he was up against, he did fantastic. He won half of his aerial duels. That surprised me. Van Dijk, Matip, like really powerful in the air.
And he scored a header. Again, it was offside. But not him. It was Timo that was offside.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. People saying, oh, Havertz missed a chance. Well, I think he knew he was offside because you could just tell how he slowed down.
Yeah.
Just tell his demeanour. He knew he was offside. And secondly, he was offside. You know, if Mount's both chances were offside, I wouldn't have had a go like he did.
Harsh. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't. But so it is what it is. Like, he was fantastic today. He was one of the reasons Chelsea played so well. He was fantastic. And if he carries on playing like that, like Lukaku ain't going to get a look in. Because he was
get looking against Luton, but as soon as we're back in some proper competitions, it's Havertz up top, and it's not a debate to be had.
Yeah, I agree.
There you go.
It has to be a 9 for me.
If you had to say more, sorry, I thought you were done. Oh, you are done. Good. Clutch. Misunderstandings when you don't see each other in person. Clutch. 9 too high for you?
No. He was pretty much the one who was creating all the chances except the one Pulisic chance. And Aspie. Even the Aspie chance, he was the one who got the ball to Aspie. So, I mean, yeah, I think Havertz was fantastic today. He's the one I still want to lead the line, even if we switch to a back four. He's the guy I want up top because, like somebody said earlier, I think he is that Firmino type of player. I do think he can get into a scoring rhythm, but I do think he's the kind of player to drag people away from the box to get other players involved. Unfortunately, the finishing let him down today because he probably should have had a couple of assists or pre-assists, you know. So today he was fantastic. 9's pretty good for him.
And also, sure, not Mason and Pulisic's fault because they were subbed off, but Havertz did also take a penalty and score it. And JP, appreciate the donation, but that's mad what you just said there. That is mad. Like, I know obviously Pulisic was subbed off, but you know, Kai Havertz had literally double the touches. He didn't play double the minutes. Actually, he did play pretty much double the minutes. No, he didn't. He didn't play double the minutes. He had double the touches, and he didn't play double the minutes. And he did way less bad things. He also had accurate pass accuracy of 81% compared to Pulisic's 57%. Like, think about what you're saying, boys. Like, I know you guys love Pulisic. I get it. All good. But a little bit of thinking, a little bit of objectivity, because that's sometimes why. And the same goes for Callum fanboys and Mason fanboys, but also Pulisic fanboys. When you are just too outrageous, no one pays attention to you, even when you are making sense, because then no one cares what you have to say. Because you're like, okay, he always waffles anyway. So if you give it that much waffle when he was not like, do you know what I mean? But hey, again, JP.
And just to add a point, bro, Gary Neville today, who was slating Chelsea every single minute of that game, bigged up Kai Havertz. He bigged up Kai Havertz and said how good of a game he had. Every rival fan was saying how good Havertz was that game. But our fan base, for some reason, because he didn't score, he had like an average performance. Like, what am I hearing? Like, new people who don't want Chelsea to win can see this guy balled today. So if you didn't see that, then you clearly just don't like Havertz, or you're just a bit upset that we gave one of your favourite players a rating you didn't like.
Exactly. And Brandon, I mentioned Pulisic because the guy in the super chat mentioned Pulisic. What are you talking about? But anyway, we have that 9. Let's do Mendy before we do the subs. I mean, that's going to be easy. That's a 10 because that man, other than his one pass straight to the opponent, in which thankfully Salah saved us and Thiago Silva, because even if Salah gets it on target, Thiago Silva clears it anyway. So that was the only bad thing, but the other things were so good that even that doesn't take away from the 10. Like, that double save is genuinely one of the most outrageous saves I've ever seen. To be fair, Kepa has also done that, funnily enough, against Liverpool in the cup final that we lost on penalties. not great omen, that, if you think about it. I mean, that Super Cup final, if people don't remember it. But still, that double save was outrageous. The one-handed save from Van Dijk's header after the corner was outrageous. The kerfuffle in the box, I think he saved one or two of those himself. Outrageous. The one-on-one with Luis Diaz, great save. Making sure he doesn't get megged, because too many keepers get megged. Courtois, looking at you, mate. Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. What a goalkeeper. And yeah, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, obviously, if you want to elaborate, please do. But if you want to keep it short, you can do that as well. Clutch, 10 for you as well, I presume?
Yeah, he was my man of the match. He was absolutely on his head today, making all the insane saves today. The double save from, I think it was Mane earlier. Yeah, he's one of the reasons why we went to extra time. To the point where I was even... part of me was half joking, half saying it like, he's on such good form, I'd rather keep him in for penalties, but Kepa is the penalty guy, so. But part of me really wanted to keep Mendy in, I'm not going to lie about it.
Fair. Pice.
10. 100%. No words. Guy was insane. One of the bad moments he had, and that was the only bad moment, was the kick, where he kicked it straight to the player, and when Thiago Silva had to clear it off the line. But still, I think he must still get a 10, because like that double save was just ridiculous. Or the second save, bro. I've never seen anything like that. I don't know how he saved that. Got up so quickly for a guy's size, and then the save from the corner as well from Van Dijk. Like, he made up for that one error, I think, and just 100% 10 because of the other saves, bro. Like, they were so important. Ridiculous goalie. Just proves maybe we should spend a little on more players often,
Sorry to just not react to what you just said. I just read something, because I was, like we discussed for the offside of Lukaku. We'll get to Lukaku's rating soon. I was generally of the belief, and the only logic I could see, also where they drew the line, is at the edge of his sleeve. Someone, I mean, obviously it's Twitter, right? So who knows? But they sent a screenshot from the FA website into the offside rules. And there it says, for the purposes of determining offside, the upper boundary of the arm is in line with the bottom of the armpit. If that's the rules in England, that's not what was applied today. If that's the rules, then we scored. I'm not sure if that's the rules, but if that's the rules, I'm not sure what's going on. But I feel like, again, if you combine what happened for Everton against City, that handball, and what happened today with the offside, I feel like the more logically than both being just outrageously wrong is that the rules are it's the sleeve. But now when I'm seeing that screenshot now, I'm extra confused. But yeah, let's move on. Con, just finish it off for Mendy. I presume you're as hyped about him as we are, unfortunately, even though we lost.
Yeah, bro, 10. That double save, Jesus Christ, man. It's like, do you see how hard Mane hit that second shot? I couldn't believe he saved it, bro. Unreal. This is why we said before, man, Mendy starts, because of that. Absolutely superb.
It was absolutely superb. Let's do the subs. Now, the first sub came on was Reece James. Must be after, what was it, 55-ish, 60 minutes, something like that. Wasn't fantastic. Wasn't awful. I must say 6, obviously, with the star. Does it include taking a penalty? Maybe, maybe not, which people in the chat completely ignore. Yes, it was Mount and Pulisic's fault that they didn't take a penalty, but they didn't, matter of fact, right? I'm going to say 6, obviously, like I said, with the star. Con, do you think too high?
I don't even know what to rate him today, to be honest. It's hard to make of that performance. I don't think he was great. But I did think he grew in a game. Yeah, 6 seems all right.
Fair. Clutch?
I was going to say a 5.5. I thought he was really poor coming off of that bad injury, so that's why I'm going to let him off with a little bit. I do think he was really poor, though. I think 5.5, just a little below average. I think there was too many times he got caught and then tried to come back and wasn't really tracking his runners. But he did take the penalty. It was a good penalty, so I'm still going to go for the 5.5.
Fair dues. Pice?
I'll go over 6. I mean, I was quite annoyed that he was getting caught out and leaving Chalobah on 1v1 situations, but I don't agree that he was quite poor. I mean, he was pretty good on the ball, to be honest. A couple of times he might have crossed or he should have crossed, but he was pretty good on the ball. He gave us an outlet and, he's just finding his feet back into the team. So I'll give him a 6.
Fair. Let's leave it at the 6 then. Next 2 subs, if I'm not smoking, was Werner for Mount, as well as Lukaku for Pulisic. Let's do Timo Werner first. I mean, he had an assist for a goal, but he was the one who was offside. I mean, we was texting in a group chat, and Pi said, "Just bring Werner on." I'm like, "No, don't do that." Liverpool will always play him on offside, which, matter of fact, seemed to be the case. That's because I swear every time he touched the ball, he was offside.
I knew that, by the way. Can I just say,
I know.
I was just saying, the amount of times, Mount was, he was getting at Trent, but I was just like, Werner is just going to run straight off him every single time. And I know he's going to be offside probably, but it was just the game. Imagine if Werner started, would we have scored? I don't know. Would we have got that one onside goal maybe instead of all the offside goals? I don't know, man. But
yeah. His one shot, again, it was from an offside position, but I thought he was floating in. To send a group chat, thankfully was offside, because if he was onside and missed it like that, I would have been fuming. But at the same time, thankfully it wasn't in, because if it was in and then it turned out to be offside, I would have been even more fuming. I don't know about rating, to be honest. I tweeted, can we just sub him off again after that awful cross to Havertz on the other side? Awful. But yeah, it was a mix of very bad and somewhat decent. So shall I give him the same as Reece and just give him a 6? Again, took his penalty, lucky a little bit. Kelleher could definitely keep that out because he had his hand on it, but I might say 6. I'm not, just because I'm not sure. And I don't know. I would my heart was pumping too hard, and I was too annoyed about not being in the lead, and it was too stressful of a game for me to have a real fair judgment, I think. Pice, I go first with you on this one. 6 too high, 6 too low. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, it's probably about right, to be fair. I give James a 6. Werner did give us that outlet, but I don't know. He wasn't really that threatening, to be honest.
You know what? Sorry to interrupt you. I'll change mine to a 5. I think 6 is too high. Sorry.
I'm still going to go with a 6 because I regard that as the average rating. I thought he was pretty average, but I was keen to see what the others said.
Yeah, I just made the decision. He was offside too many times, considering how short he was on the pitch. That's why, I'm not
offside
even
tax. Just give him a 0 because he was offside so many times.
I guess so. But let me ask the boys. Con, what do you think?
I'd probably give him a 5. I don't think he was god awful, but I don't think he done much either. And for some reason, him and Lukaku just kept getting in each other's way. That was doing my head in, man.
Oh my God, not Lukaku, but when he ran into Kovacic. Timo basically lost the ball. It falls to Kovacic. Kovacic controls it. And Timo just storms into him. I'm like, what are you doing, man? And that's what happens when you play football only by looking at the ball. Look up, man.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Sorry. Anything you want to add? Nope. All right. Clutch?
I'm going to agree with the 5. I don't think he was that great. That thing you just mentioned with him running into Kovacic, it takes a special kind of player to lose the ball and then somehow stop the guy from recovering the ball who's on your own team. Technically, he struggles so much, man, and we needed somebody who was going to break down, so we just kind of expected Werner and Lukaku to run in behind, and that just played right to Liverpool's strengths. They're one of the better offside trapping teams in the world. So, unfortunately for them, that's just kind of what Werner does, So, 5 for Werner.
When I do read it said like that, I do kind of agree with that. But I will say, I gave both a 5. I can't control what the other people do. But I do kind of agree with it. But here we are. We sit on the 5. Lukaku. Just because everybody will say me otherwise, I could just go first. I actually thought he was half decent today. I'm not going to... I know Clutch might be a bit annoyed at him being offside and stuff. But to me, that was so close to offside that it's close enough that I'm not going to be annoyed at you. And the finish was good for once. The finish was good. Held it up relatively nicely. Assisted Kai's second offside goal, but Kai was obviously well offside in that position. You could argue, should Lukaku cross to Kai when Kai's like a yard and a half off? Maybe not. The one thing, just because, it's Lukaku, so I must mention negative things. The one bad thing he did, like quite late on, he was going down the left channel, was doing well, skipping over a slide tackle, running with it, gets ready for the cross, crosses it, does get the ball higher than a yard off the ground, gets intercepted easily by Liverpool, and then the camera focuses on him, and he's pointing at the other Chelsea players, like, oh, you should have made the run there. And I'm like, how dare you criticize the run when you couldn't get the ball off the ground? Like, why is that? But no, overall, he had a decent from the near post effort as well, which was a good save by Kelleher. It's weird because outside of scoring the goal, not great. And the goal obviously was offside, and I said it doesn't count for Havertz. And it doesn't. But he was so close offside, and Lukaku played it like he wasn't offside, while Havertz, to me, looked like he knew. So I'm deciding between the 6.5 and 7. Obviously, people will say, oh, how can you think it was better than Mount and Pulisic? Well, deal with it. I'm going to be nice for once and say 7. No, that's a lie. 6.5. But I'm very intrigued to what you boys say. Maybe I can be swayed. Pice, I'll let you go first.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, Lukaku, I mean, obviously scored the goal and stuff, but I don't know what it was with him. Like, I was still getting quite annoyed with him. Like, we actually put the ball into him and stuff, and he actually held it up, but I just thought he still looked like a bit, how do I explain it? Like a bit, not clumsy, but like a bit, how do you explain it? I don't know. I'm trying to think of a word, how to explain it. Like, come back to me on that one. But I don't know, like it's just not fluid, right? It's kind of, he was kind of just like a sticking point up there. Like he didn't really press aggressively considering he came on. I thought, yeah, just a bit of a sticking point. I don't know. I liked that we actually played off him compared to previous weeks, previous games, but still, I don't think he was that great. I mean, if he started that game, then I think we would have been a lot more annoyed with him, even if he had played like he did when he came on. Because I don't know, like, he was just kind of there, you know what I mean? Apart from that goal, like, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't like how we attack with him in the side, man.
No, I will say, because you mentioned getting annoyed at him. The first, like, he was on the pitch for like 5 minutes. We counter-attacked. The ball was on the left. It was ready to get crossed in. He just didn't run into the box. He just didn't.
Yeah,
he was on the pitch for 2 minutes.
People in the chat saying I have agenda. Like, I don't have agenda. I just don't like the way we attack with him. I don't know. It's just not. For the amount of time he's already been here, like, you would have thought something would have at least clicked by now, but it hasn't. We've said the same thing every single week. And as I said earlier, like, when Havertz was on the pitch and Lukaku wasn't, I was like, this is great. This is like last season again. Some games we would outscore, but other games would be like we was today, where we missed a load of chances, and we would say, well, we get a lethal strike in the box. Oh, we're going to score. We're going to score. We're going to win every game. We're going to win most games. But then you sign Lukaku, and then when he's on the pitch, we don't create the chances a lot of the time. So whose fault is that? Like, would it be the same with a Lewandowski, a Benzema? No, because I think they make more runs. I think they make smarter movements. You know what I mean? So you have to put some blame on Lukaku. Like, it's not an agenda. You have to think, like, as you said, like, one of the things you said there, like, the runs across the front post and shit like that. Like, he just doesn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I had a little go at Reece James for not crossing, but Lukaku was never making any movements in the box. You know what I mean? Like, just, I don't know. I don't know if I can see it working, man. I don't. We're in a weird situation. I'll go over 6. Actually, no, 5.5. I'll go over 5.5.
Fair. It's weird. People in the chat talking about agendas when we actually give Lukaku a reasonable rating for once. And again, if you don't like the fact, I mean, I like a lot of people in the chat obviously debating, how can they be lower when at least with them on the pitch we created the chances and they, like, to some extent, Pulisic created the chance for Mount. How can you then have a lower rating for Werner, who did nothing other than be offside once when he created something? I understand it. Again, I gave them the same rating, but I think you also have to accept and can't just lose your shit when someone has a different opinion to you, in a sense that they value missing a big chance in the final higher than just the lack of creation of it. You're going to have to deal with the fact that people have different opinions and not just blame everyone has a different opinion to you as you are biased. Have you considered that you are biased? Have you ever thought about it? I'm not saying you are.
People don't like my ratings, bro, in the comments.
Yeah, but it's not even you.
It's not you. It's yeah.
Like,
it's not you.
I don't know. Like, I just think I've seen Lukaku, man. He was like with Belgium and with Everton. The guy was such a brute force, so powerful, so quick. You know, like he's just not that for us. I don't know what's happened to him. Like he's just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's honestly so hard to explain. Well, the Lukaku I've seen in the past is not this Lukaku. And until I see that Lukaku back, I don't think I'll be able to properly explain why or what it is. But it just ain't it. It just ain't it right now. It's not the Lukaku I know, bro. There's something about him.
It just looks like United Lukaku. That's weird.
He like half-asses it. You know what I mean? Like, even when the ball gets played into him, right? Yeah, he laid it off today. But was he, bang? Like, like, was he like Giroud, who would just, you know what I mean? Like, where was the impact? Like, where was the, you know what I'm getting at? Like, for not being on the pitch that long, like, I don't know. I just don't feel like he was fully in it. There was just something about the performance. It's so hard to explain what I mean, but I hope you can kind of get the gist of it. You know what I mean? Like,
the sad thing is, you say
he's
that
not
about
the
today,
beast
and
he
he
used
was
to be.
still way better today than he was any of the recent.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I'm concerned about, because I didn't even think he was that good, but this was one of his better games. Like, it's like I don't know. It's so confusing, this situation. Like,
it is. I did think he held the ball up acceptably well, at least today. I did think that. And I did think, like you say, he laid it off a couple of times, not too badly. I think he didn't give up on every tackle immediately, on every challenge. Like, for example, against Anderson, against Palace. Like, that was just embarrassing. Like, he didn't at least do that whenever he was challenged from the back. He tried, to be strong and hold the ball. So that's why I'm not as harsh today. But let me go to Con. What did you make of Lukaku?
With Lukaku today, I'm going to give him a 6. I was tempted to give him an 8 because in my eyes he scored a perfectly legit goal. The rules, I don't get what the rules are anymore. I don't. If that's offside, I'm not blaming Lukaku for that. I think he timed his run perfectly, considering I think Chalobah should have played that pass quicker. He timed his run. He was composed. He finished it nicely, and VAR took it away from him. So I'm kind of split if I want to give him a 6. Oh, I want to give him an 8 because in my eyes he scored a perfectly good goal. But because he didn't, and you guys have already gone 6, just for the sake of saving it, I'm just going to go with 6.
Fair enough. Before I get to Clutch, do just want to react to that. Probably correct. The first one, I mean, that doesn't happen because he would only play instead of Kai. So the whole chance creation doesn't happen that way. And if they play together, then it will be very different either. But if you the second chance, the Pulisic chipped over him, that only happens because it's a run from deeper. Otherwise, Lukaku doesn't have that space. So yes, if he happened to get into the same position, I agree. But would he get into the same position? I'd argue he wouldn't. But hey, Clutch, finish it off for us. 6 too high, 6 too low. What do you make of Lukaku?
I think it was one of his better performances we've seen, but like I said earlier, we were still better with Mount and Pulisic out on the field, and I know a lot of people are having to go, like, if we were playing better, then why did we rate them? It's like, they didn't have the chances that the other two did. Like, if I'm going to sit here and then when Cho has a bad miss and I'm going to criticize him for it, I got to criticize Mount. I got to criticize Pulisic. That's just how fair it is. Pius is not the one who dragged down Pulisic. It was me. I did that because I rated him the lowest. I do think If you're going to rate Mount a 1, you got to rate Pulisic a 2 because they both had chances. Do I think Pulisic's chance was a little bit harder than Mount's? Yes, I do think that. Do I think they both played well? Yes, but they had poor finishing. You can't not say that. Lukaku, however, today was much better. Do I think he was offsides a little too much for my liking? Yes, I don't like that. And I think our offense flows better when we have a Havertz who's up top, who drags defenders around, and not a Lukaku who waits for the ball in behind, because that's not the type of team we are. We don't play that kind of style. So for me, Lukaku was miles better than he has been in a while, but still, he's not that electric Lukaku that we paid $100 million for. So a 6 is for what I'm going.
Fair dues. The last outfield sub we made was Jorginho. Didn't really play long, did he? So shall we just give him an NA? Like, when did he come on? Let me check. He came on. So for the last 15 minutes of extra time. So at halftime of extra time, he came on. I mean, did I think he was bad? No. But if you want to give him a rating, happily, I don't know, I'll give him like a 7 with a side. I think it was pretty good. But it's 15 minutes out of 120. So I think an A is also reasonable. Conwood, do you think NA 7? What do you want to do?
Yeah, bro. NA just didn't have enough time to have any influence in the game. I think by then both teams sailed for pens.
True. Pice?
Yeah, I'd probably agree, to be honest, but 10 out of 10 for the penalty under pressure. Because obviously, if you missed that, we'd have lost. So yeah, I did the hop, skip, and the jump as well, but in reality, it means nothing. So yeah, NA, unfortunately, didn't really have enough time to do stuff, but did notice a couple, like obviously a couple of passes and stuff, like didn't get, outrun or anything like people were saying he was going to do when he came on. I thought that was funny, but yeah, NA, well, I tend to agree with you guys.
Fair. Clutch, do you agree as well?
Yeah, but I do think he influenced the game a little bit more positively. He did have a couple good passes, and I think he had one over the top to Lukaku. Was that the one that was offside?
Yeah. No,
Or
it wasn't
mishandled?
offside, but he didn't control it.
Okay, yeah. Then, yeah. But still NA. Not much time. Fair
dues. And obviously, Kepa came on from Mendy. Like, I'm not mad at Kepa, but it's getting a 0. Not only did he sky the penalty, that will be memed for forever. We were stone cold until Kepa, but boy, are Liverpool cold and on the penalty spot. That Van Dijk penalty, Kepa was basically stood in the corner. It was like a YouTube video when you're like, you have to put one in each position of the goal, and the goalie already knows what the last corner available is, so he already stands there. And Van Dijk just smashed it top corner, and then Kepa still didn't save it. Like, if you're gonna go there, you have to save that. Like, I don't care how hard he hits it. I don't care how close to the side netting it is. You just lost the psychological battle. You stood there thinking he was going to go the other corner now, and that was going to put him off. Maybe he'd miss. He put it top corner. In that corner you stood in, and you lost. He got a hand to one as well, didn't keep it out, and he missed his own. So I'm not super mad at him, but if you only come on for penalties and that's how the penalty shootout goes. Also, the amount of times he went the wrong way, not good today. I'm not sitting here saying, with Mendy we would have won. We will never know that. Would I have backed Mendy more to score his? No. But obviously in hindsight, yes. I don't think Mendy would have even tried to get it off the ground that much. But hey, I'm going to say 0. Let's see what you boys say. Clutch, you went last on the last 2, so let me have you go first on this one.
It's hard because I don't really want to have a go at Kepa for it, but I also remember one time he pointed a direction and the guy went exactly where he pointed.
Yeah, Harvey Elliott. They tried to get him that way. Then
and I'm like, if you're gonna do that,
think that, if you point there, go there.
Yeah, and I was like, I was a little bit embarrassed for him. You know what? Yeah, let's go 0. I mean, Kepa's a really good penalty taker or penalty stopper, and he didn't stop one, so that's what I kind of expect of him. I do think he's a better keeper than Kalahar, even though I do think that kid is going to be something special someday. Yeah, if we're brought on to stop a penalty and we went and took 11 penalties and didn't stop one, I think that's
and he got
not great.
as well. So
he did get Panenka by Fabinho.
So not great. Pice.
Agree. 0, man. Can't believe didn't save one, even that Canate penalty. Man, so annoying. Got one hand to it, didn't save it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really want to slam the Kepa. I'd like to think I'm a bit more mature than that nowadays. I could have either just, I know my old self would have gone absolutely crazy at him, but yeah, it is what it is. I back Tuchel's decision, always will do, because I think it's the right decision. People are only saying this because obviously it didn't go right for us today, but no one was saying, "Oh, don't bring Kepa on," was there? In the 88th minute or anything, like, it's clowns, man. But yeah, I have to go with 0.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Global, you might not be talking to us, but we're just talking factually, not dissing him. And HM, he's 23, but sure. Con, finish it off for us. I presume you're going to go 0 as well, or you're going to go higher than that?
No, it has to be a 0, innit? Like, he came on, didn't save a penalty, and then missed the last one. I'm not going to blame him. It's hard. I don't expect goalkeepers to score pens. And at the same time, I don't expect getting brought on at the last stage and doing madness as well. I think that's really unfair to Kepa personally. Even though I would have wanted that before the game, it's still a hard thing to do because the atmosphere, did you hear it? Sounded ridiculous, man. It's not an easy thing to come into. So, is what it is, man, with that situation. Is what it is.
It is what it is, yeah. Unfortunately, Tuchel's dry spell of trophies at Wembley continues. Hopefully, we can change in the FA Cup towards the end of the season. But we lost 5 of our last 6 finals at Wembley. That is shocking.
Bro, someone put a curse on Wembley. I swear, we've been so ass there recent years. We
shall never play at Wembley again until we put Drogba in our coaching staff. With Drogba, maybe it's a different story, but without Drogba, we're screwed. So, I hate
so much Drogba, man. We dropped to watch the match, genuinely, I can never get over the Arsenal final. I don't know how we lost to Arsenal. I just don't know. Referee tax, I guess, but it was terrible.
There you go. Two things are missing. One thing that we're obviously all aware of that's coming. And I'm going to add one other thing, but we're going to do it after. So let's do Thomas Tuchel. What do you give Tuchel? We lost, but you really have done anything about that?
So I want to give Tuchel an 8 today. I think we matched Liverpool. I think we created the better chances. Sadly, he can't put the ball in the back of the net, So, yeah, I give him an 8 today. Do I want to give him an 8? Yeah, I do want to give him an 8. Yeah, sorry, I was just thinking in my head if I wanted to stick to it. But yeah.
All good, bro. Clutch.
7.5. I do think there were a couple things he could have done differently, but we'll not get into that discussion again because I kind of explained what I thought earlier. So it is what it is. Unfortunate for him. I go 7.5.
Fair. Pice?
Easiest 10 in my life. Easiest one all season. Completely outplayed them. Should have won. Attackers let him down. Backed the decision. Made the correct decision. Subs were fine. Well, I don't know how you can go lower than a 10, to be honest. Tuchel did everything perfectly today. He outcoached Klopp, and he's better than Klopp as well, man. Give Tuchel that Klopp attack. Jeez.
Pies, just to be a bit objective here, bro. So I hate to be this guy, but do you think he deserves to get a few ratings taken off him because it is his choice to swap the goalkeepers?
Nah, man. No one at all had a problem with it until we lost. Honestly, it's the thing that's pissed me off most tonight. People saying it's his fault. You guys are stupid. Mendy is not good at penalties at all.
But obviously, in the last penalty shootout that Mendy played in his life was the AFCON final, and he saved one. And he had an outstanding game. So obviously, confidence plays a big part in saving penalties.
He saved one, but he wasn't good on the others. He didn't dive the right way.
No. But was Kepa good on any today? Do you know what I mean?
How's that Tuchel's fault? We all know Kepa is the better at penalties than Mendy. The stats say that. He won us the Super Cup final. Yeah. If honestly, if hindsight is just amazing. If Kepa done another madness day, everyone would be like, Tuchel's the go. Like, but because
Yeah,
Kepa
exactly, bro.
fucked up,
That's
like,
the point I'm making, though.
Yeah, and if
that did
Lukaku
happen,
scored in all of his 10 games that he played that he shouldn't have played, no one would have complained about Lukaku playing.
so like,
Do you know what I mean?
if you're gonna call him like a genius for doing it, when it goes wrong, you're just meant to ignore it. And I love Tuchel, but I don't want to be that guy saying that. But that's why I gave him an 8 today.
How is that his fault though? He's not
because it's
Kepa.
his decision, bro. It's his.
But he made the right decision because statistically, Kepa is the better goalie than Mendy on penalties.
There is an argument that Mendy won, a penalty shootout for his nation. So it's the pressure thing. Like penalty saving wise, I get it, bro. But bringing Kepa on into that environment was, if it works for you, you did a good job. If it don't, is what it is.
Kepa is meant like the whole game. He knows he's going to come on for penalties.
Yeah.
Like the whole of the extra time, he's preparing for that. He's getting his gloves ready. Like putting him into what environment? He was ready for this.
But then,
You know what I mean?
so if you don't blame Tuchel for that, then who gets the blame for that? Do we blame Kepa for missing the penalty when he's a goalkeeper?
I don't blame.
Who do we
Kepa.
blame for that then? So that's Kepa's fault then.
It's, I mean, technically it's Kepa's fault for missing the penalty and not saving, but penalties are penalties. Statistically, Kepa is better than Mendy. Tuchel made the right decision by subbing Kepa on, and no one had a problem with it until
I'm not saying I have a problem with it, but I'm saying like we give it mad credit when it works, but when it doesn't, we just go, oh, it worked before, so we shouldn't say anything.
Exactly, because it's statistically made the right decision. Like
I'm not trying to, like, bro. I'm not even saying I
gonna-
disagree with you here. I'm just
Go wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like
It's
against
not
Palace,
like-
it made sense to start Lukaku because Lukaku scored against Palmeiras, but then Lukaku played and had 7 touches. So then, what the job of the manager is not just look at stats. It's like judge the situation. Is confidence better here? Was training better from this guy? Was Kepa annoyed that he didn't get to start the final because maybe he felt he deserved to play the whole game? And maybe when he's a bit annoyed, don't bring him on because then it's not in the right space. I'm not saying those things are true. I'm saying those are just potential things that can be factored in. And when I'm saying Tuchel can have gotten this wrong without it being an absolute howler. While if he gets it right, it's not that great of a master stroke because it's just going by statistics.
And just to add a point on top of what Laurenz is there as well, if I was Tuchel, I would have probably done the same. I would have put Kepa on today because it did work.
I would too.
But I don't see how you
maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, but then you can't give a perfect rating if one of the decisions impacted the game like that.
It made sense to make the decision. The decision didn't work out right.
Yeah, but Tuchel didn't impact the like. I don't get this view. I'm sorry. May just agree to disagree. I don't get it.
You gave him a 10, bro. I'm saying so. Then he did everything perfect, but the decision he made at the end, but he didn't
was
because
the perfect decision because he made the right decision. It technically, he didn't, but he did. Because everyone knew Kepa was going to come on. Mendy knew Kepa was going to come on. Like, how does Tuchel get the blame for Kepa fucking up? Like,
it's not blaming, but there's a difference in saying.
But how are you knocking ratings off? Like Tuchel literally,
or saying it wasn't.
We should have won this final today. Tuchel coached a comfortable victory. You could I don't understand.
Yeah, that's why I thought Con was going to go to that because that's why I slightly disagree with you. Like, on every
are you mad? We had so many chances, bro.
Liverpool missed more big chances than we did, bro.
And now that's where my point comes in.
Like that's why. Like on
maybe
the
I need to rewatch these chances back then because for me, Tuchel completely outclutched Klopp today with the inferior squad.
That is a valid point. We had an inferior squad on the day for sure, but they had more shots. They had more shots on target. They had more big chances missed. They had more possession. They had less.
They had more big chances missed.
Corners compared to our 2 corners.
They had 4. We had 3.
What was their big chances though? They're not counting that Van Dijk header as a big chance, are they?
Presumably are,
yes.
man. These
it was a big save, so it's a big
stats.
Yeah, this is why I don't like stats because, like, if you saw the Mount and Pulisic ones to that Van Dijk header, okay, they both come under as big chances created, but they're totally different big chances. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense, I just heard what I said.
But even if you go by that level of big chance, Liverpool had 2.
Van Dijk's was not counted as that. 1 was Luis Diaz, 2 were Sadio Mane, and 1 was Salah.
Yeah, Luis Diaz was 1-on-1 with the goalie. Mane obviously had the double chance. Salah had his chance that was not offside. He just put it wide, but Thiago Silva would have cleared it anyway. But it's still a huge chance.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about those. Fairs.
And the goal, like I know it was obviously not given, but it's a huge chance.
But Lukaku's didn't count for us.
No, it didn't. It didn't. But we probably include it in our way of thinking we played well, presumably.
Maybe. But I still think our chances were like better than theirs on the whole.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Like, I don't think. I think we were by slight bit the better team, and maybe by slight bit deserve to win more. Also, because I think Keita should have been sent off, even if it's for a double yellow rather than a straight red. But I do think that. But I was gonna go 8 as well, probably for Tuchel for 2 reasons. Now maybe 9. One of the two. Number one, I think at least, like, fair enough if you pick Mount and Pulisic that way around. I think you should have at least switched it. Like, Pulisic had his best game last game, and God knows how long scored. And then you put him on the other side the next game. I don't understand that logic, personally. Do I think Jorginho could have come on sooner? Could Jorginho theoretically have started? We will never know whether that would have gone better, whether that would have gone worse. Do I think bringing Werner on is ever a good idea? No, I don't. And he chose to do that. Like, I'm not going to blame him. I'm not even going to use the Kepa situation much. That's not good enough to get a plus rating, but it's not bad enough to get a minus rating. But I think there's a couple of things. Then you say, yeah, it's not his fault that these guys didn't score, but he put them on the pitch. Like, he could have theoretically, again, we don't know whether that would have gone better, but he could have picked Callum over Mason. And then, who knows? He could have picked Lukaku over Mason. Would I have liked it? No. But he could have done. And then those players missed.
Well, Callum's not good at finishing. Neither is Werner.
No, he isn't.
Lukaku wouldn't have got in the positions. Like, we didn't have those chances with those guys, bro.
But maybe they would have had different chances. We will never know. But that's why you can't just give 10 on the basis that, or in my opinion at least, obviously you do what you want to do. And again, I'm going high. Like, I'm going 8. But you can't just say, oh, that wouldn't have happened with them. But we will never know that. Same as we will never know what would have happened if Mendy played the shootout.
Yeah. Like, bro, like, I think it's just the term is like how you want to give a 10. Like, for me, the 10 for Tuchel has to be he done everything perfect in the game. But to, like, Pies, because, like, we outplayed him with
Pies did say Tuchel did everything perfect, to be fair.
You think he did everything perfect today, bro?
100%. Oh, it was a fantastic performance from us. We should have won.
Fairs, bro. That's how you feel.
Kosh, can you just remind me, did you say 7.5, yeah?
Yes, I said 7.5.
So that gives us 110, 2 8, 7.5. I guess that puts us at 8.5. Is that roughly where that puts us? But the last thing, which we haven't done before, and I'm not really sure where I'm going to put it. I'm just going to put it with Kai. I want us to rate the performance overall. Just that's the new thing I'm going to start now. So, why don't I start with you, Con? How would you rate our performance? Like, you can obviously maybe explain what you include into that, but like whether you want to include like the players and the manager, or whether you just think, how did you feel we played? Whatever you want. Just tell me how you'd rate the performance.
Out of 10 as well, yeah, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
I would give it a 7. So here's my logic of doing it, right? So I'm just basically splitting it up into 3 parts, like 3 for the defense, 3 for the midfield, and 3 for the attack. And I think the midfield and defense did their job, so there's a 6 there. Attack for me is a 1. So that was the letdown today. So that's why I say 7. And that's a weird way of examining it, but I can't be asked to debate.
Into 3, add them up, and then divide by 3.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like I would try to do it by like how well we played and then the chart, but I can't be asked to debate it myself, so I'm just doing it like that, bro.
I like it. I like logic, and that makes sense. So there you go. So you give it what overall? 7, do you say, or 6?
7, bro. Yeah.
7. There you go. Pies. 7, 8, 9, 10. What do you rate the performance? And also, how do you come to that conclusion in your head, just so people understand?
I think performance overall for me is like as a unit, how well did we play over the 120 minutes?
Mhm.
And in terms of like the performance of not individuals missing chances, but how we created the chances and how we played as a team, I think how I would judge it. And I mean, yeah, I do have to factor in the chances we missed, but the overall performance, it's got to be like 9.5 at least, because the defense was
But
amazing. The
isn't
midfield
missing
was.
chances part of the performance though?
I don't know how much I would include into that I would include, because that's more like an individual thing for me. Like the performance I judge is like the unit. Like how well did everyone work with each other? Like how well was we good overall? And I think it's like at least 9.5 for me. That's how I would judge it.
Fair, that is fair. So everyone comes to their conclusion in a different way, but I thought it's a fun thing. And someone said it's a great addition, so I appreciate that. Clutch, what would you rate the performance and how do you come to that conclusion? In the future, obviously, I won't ask you always to explain how you come to that. And if people will watch in the future that aren't here today, it's unlucky. But at least first time around, so I have at least a rough idea of how you come to it. So I can maybe question you about it a little bit.
I think for me, it was a 7. And sitting here thinking about it, I think there was times when we had the front foot. Like I said earlier, Liverpool is a really good team. We cannot deny that. They are one of the top 4 teams in the world. And there were periods for much of the game where we outplayed them. We kind of slowed down in the second half. We lost a lot of control. We started playing more counter-attacking football, which is something I don't think that suits us very much. But I think overall it was a 7. Do I think we could have went out there and won? Yes. Was the finishing poor? Yes. Defending was fantastic. We had our wingbacks involved for the most part. Kovacic was actually insane. Mendy was the best player on the pitch. Conte wasn't great, but he didn't have a terrible performance. You know, it's just it comes down to 4 moments in a game, 3 or 4 moments in the game. But at the same time, Liverpool also had that. So you know, I think it speaks volumes that we took Liverpool to the penalties, and that's kind of the heartbreak that takes out. I think it's one that hurts, and a lot of the fan base is going to kind of take that hurt and try to direct it somewhere. That's kind of where it's a little bit harder to rate these kind of things, because we all have that emotional side to it where we want to put a blame somewhere, and maybe the blame isn't exactly cut and dry like we wanted to say, but I think we played overall pretty well, so I'd say a 7.
You said that very well, mate. I'm gonna go a little bit higher than Conan and Clutch did. I'm gonna say 7.5, which overall I think put us at a 7.5. I do see. Sorry, did you say 9.5 or 9?
Oh, I said 9.5 because I think it was near
No,
perfect.
then it said an 8. Sorry, ignore that. But yeah, no, I think we played well. I think we played well in every sense of the word, really, other than finishing and a couple of moments of defending. But even when the defending wasn't immaculate, the goalkeeper was immaculate. Obviously, for Pulisic's chance, you can argue that very same thing for their goalkeeper, to be fair. But because it was a good save as well. But yeah, I'm going to say 7.5. I think overall it was very good. It's just a shame. And it's, again, I'm not super mad at anyone, even Kepa, who we gave 0. I'm not mad at him. Like, it happens. That's the risk that happens when with a goalkeeper, when taking penalties. Kelleher took his, sure. But goalkeepers are not supposed to be good at penalties. I'm more upset with him that he went wrong corner so many times. I'm more upset with him that he did the whole psychological thing with Van Dijk stepped in that corner and got battered, honestly. Also that he pointed with Elliott and then went the other way and got done by it. Like, he just lost that psychological battle with every single Liverpool player, including Liverpool's goalkeeper, who he only faced once. And that's bad. But the performance today was good. Considering we missed Christensen on the last day, we had Aspie playing and Reece James coming in. We still don't have Ben Chilwell. We have Mount coming back from an injury. All of those things considered, Thiago Silva being 37, although that shouldn't really be held pro or con anything because of how amazing he is. all of those things considered, and considering Liverpool, other than Callagher, were at their very best. To be fair, Thiago actually had to not play the game as he got injured in warm-up. And then Keita came on form, who I still think should have been sent off. How that would have affected the game, we will never know. I do still hope that one day, with Tuchel or with another manager, I do still hope that one day we will go into games like this and be the dominant side for the majority of the game, be the team that has more possession, be the team that has more chances, be the team that goes for it more. And we did that in the first 10. Like the first 10 minutes, we were absolutely fantastic. Then it got a bit even. Then it was Liverpool on top for a good 20, 25 minutes. Then it was us again at the very end with Mason's huge chance. Second half, we started incredibly well. And then the rest of the first half, I would say, was pretty even. It was kind of end-to-end to some extent. Maybe Liverpool had a bit of a spell on top. And then the start of the extra time, I thought we were on top. And then just took the end of extra time, like, was it Pies or someone said it earlier? It kind of just evened itself out in terms of both teams seemed ready for penalties. So that's really what it is. So it's a tough one. It still hurts. I mean, obviously, I feel a bit better now because we've spoken about it for over 2 hours. Again, I want to give a big shout out to my 3 guests today, because after, like I said, it's my channel. And even I was like, I cannot be bothered for this one bit. I just want to go to sleep. But these boys turned up. It's 2 hours, 12 minutes. And big up Melly as well. Like she says, make sure you get the Manscaped kit with my code. Link is down in the description. Please do check that out. But let's round it out here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. And there's still over 200 of you here, which is mad, considering we've been going for 2 hours and 12 minutes. So please do subscribe. Every new subscriber counts. Smash the like button for me. Let's get to at least 150 likes right now. Just on your way out, smash the like button. Doesn't cost you any money. And it barely costs you any time as well. But yeah, like I said, big shout out to Clutch, Pice, and Con. Their links are down in the description. Pice's website, Con, and Clutch's Twitter. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, upwards and onwards. And I'll see you next time.